Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ClassicWhoZone, the Sensorites 6-part story. We'll get everybody on as quick as possible and see if we can actually fly through, because remember, we got Queen Charlotte until 10, but with all the talking that goes on and stuff like that, we don't normally get through a 6-part of that much, so we're going to try. I've sent out the emails to everybody that's coming on. We've already got 2 waiting in the wings. So without further ado, I'll bring them on. And then as soon as we get our guests on, we will start the watch along. I have it ready to go as well. So without further ado, we bring on our first guest. It's the one and only Problem Being.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. And we got Real Super
Hello.
Doctor. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So, as I said, we're just waiting on Queen Charlotte, and Ballstreck said he'd be here, so I sent him an email. So we'll see if
or artist formerly known as Chris from Cultivated Media.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody in the chat. So there's Queen Charlotte. We got Peter Harrington in the chat. We got Dave also in the chat. Aaron is there as well.
Popular story, this one.
Well, it's 6 parts. I don't know if we should do 3 tonight and then do 3 next week.
Well, it's yeah. I mean, it's a really tough one. This one, I think 6 parts is way too long for this story. But it's the end of the season.
Well, maybe we will break it up into 2. Then we'll do 3 this week, do 3 next week. So I'll change the title of the video to part 1. Then obviously I'll say the other one's part 2. We'll just split it in 2.
Yeah, I think we should do that from now on, because I just think it's like it's really difficult to
6-parters or 8-parters, but the 4-parters we could still do the full 4-parters, but you know, when it comes to 6 and 8, I think it's better that way. So tune in next week for part 2. But let's bring on our last 2 guests, because we got the panel all ready to go. We got the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello. Hopefully my voice is okay tonight. We'll see what happens.
Okay, no problem. And we've got our very special guest. It's the one and only Chris from Cultivated Media.
Hi, everyone. Am I still special, Noel?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Well, your picture's special that you got as your avatar.
Yeah.
Special with the TH.
Yeah, you look kind of special there. What's the story behind this little avatar of yours?
I've had him on the stream before, Noel. My avatar originally it was to represent how much effort is being going into the current iteration of the thing I don't talk about.
Yeah.
But now I don't have a logo, so he's just a placeholder.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that's fair enough.
Right, Lee? Hi.
Yes. Hi.
I say yes. I got the funny-looking man because I don't have a logo.
That's a hint, isn't it?
By the way, is there any moderators in the chat? Could you get rid of that particular troll there? I mean, like I don't know how many times. Like, grow up, man, grow up. It's getting tired now. And as for your Barry Island, shove your Barry Island up your backside.
Did he get the postcard from Chris?
Yes, he did, and apparently he didn't like it.
Oh,
he didn't? Did he not? Well, you need to grow up, mate. You're coming across as a bit of a psychopath now at this stage. You know,
I did bring up Barry Island's crime problem.
So
apparently they have a crime problem.
Do they? Well, maybe you should go over to Barry Island and sort them all out yourself, mate. right? And leave us.
They've been watching too much Jodie Whittaker's Doctor.
Dude, I don't want to go to Wales.
Yeah, who wants to go to Wales unless it's to see Doctor Who? Let's be honest.
Well, if we could, we need a time machine.
Yeah.
Well, the Russell stuff will be made in Wales still. It's just literally hopping across the river to look at the Bad Wolf Studios.
Yeah, that's not very good for Rothlock, is it? It looks like it's pretty much over for them.
Yeah, it's well, no, they could be a storage facility.
For all the shites left over.
Well, we'll see. Look. At the end of the day, right? This era is coming to an end. RTD comes back. We'll see what he does. Yeah, let's hope he can recapture our imaginations for this show and our love for this show again. If anybody can do it, he is the man to do it. Whether he can or not is still a question that's being asked and debated by everybody in the fandom right now. All I'll just say is we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm still pretty optimistic about the future because RTD is, I mean, look, if it wasn't a success in 2005, we wouldn't be sitting here today talking about it still. And that's a testament to his era. If you go back and watch his era, because we were watching Doctor Who today before it came on, we were actually watching Stephen Moffat's era with Matt Smith. We were watching the God Complex because it happened to be on the TV. So we just left the TV on. We were watching that, and we watched not the Lodger, but the other one with the Cyberman with Craig in it.
Closing time.
Closing time, yeah. And I have to say, compared to what we've been given, like it was. I had some moments in it where, okay, yeah, this is a poor story, especially closing time, but it has its Doctor Who moments. Still feels like Doctor Who, and Matt Smith's acting in it is just brilliant. Yeah, but that's enough of that.
Yeah, and then we got Real Super Doctor there showing the brand new logo for the upcoming Doctor Who special.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got someone in there that's been trying to get me attention, been sending me messages on Twitter to try and say to me that someone has copied the YouTube channel. Or
that we've known about that for ages.
Yeah, we've known about that for months. The reason why, like, I've rejected all your messages and not even looked at them is for the fact that I know you want me to go and check out that YouTube channel. Talk about the YouTube channel so you get more views, but unfortunately for you, that's not going to happen. So, like, you know, your videos are shit anyway. I would say step your game up if you're inspiring to be an animator or to do that kind of work when you're actually shit at it. And I would actually, you know, go and study it before you start doing stupid little silly YouTube videos. And you know, if you want to plagiarize Leah's work and he's happy with that, that's fine. But the fact that you've stolen the intro trailer, I'm not actually pleased about that. I will say that. Whereas for the logo and stuff like that, Lee doesn't give a shit. I don't give a shit. But you're that pathetic that you want to make a clown channel, but your content shit.
Clown channel.
So try harder. Yeah, try harder. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. Do you know what? I wish StreamYard would just fucking stop letting us see the fucking comments and stuff like that, because I hate reading them now. Like idiots. Just leave it out.
We're gonna watch. They're gone.
Yeah, well, we're just gonna watch some Classic Who now. But like, you know, all I'm just gonna say is it's 5 years, right? 5 years of this carry on, right? And it's not just me that's getting it, right? A lot of fans that haven't liked this era have got it in the neck. And I will say that some supporters of this era that genuinely like this era have been attacked as well, right? It's happened on every side, right? But it's 5 years now, right? It's time to grow the fuck up, like. It's time to let it go. The argument of whether Jodie Whittaker is the best Doctor or isn't the best Doctor is irrelevant now, right? This era of Doctor Who ends and a new one begins, right? So this tired old arguments that people are trying to rehash again on Twitter and call me out stuff that I said years ago. I stand by everything that I said. And I'm not changing my mind on that. She will never convince me ever that she was the Doctor. She's never convinced me. There's a couple of near moments that she's had, but near moments are not good enough. And she was not good enough. And Chris Chibnall wasn't good enough. But that's my opinion, right? But this whole thing is finished with now because this era ends. So it's time for you people to move on now. Those arguments are all done, right? All those debates are done. There's no more debates to be had. The only debate to be had is when this era is finally over, when RTD comes back and shows up what the last era was actually really like, and people will come to the realization that what they were actually spoon-fed for the last 3 series was absolute rubbish and dire. That's why I'm looking forward to RTD coming back, because I know he will show up every single person that worked on this current era. They're an absolute disgrace. They were over their heads, right? Fought with fans every step of the way. These people will be showing up by this man. Trust me, he's 60. There's going to be something spectacular. He will be left with jaws wide open. Trust me, right? This RTD is coming back because he truly believes that he can do something amazing with this show. And I think he will. The fact that he's in total control as well gives me more comfort to know, because, you know, any agenda that's inserted into it is obviously going to be down to him. But we know with his past writing what he's like, he can build up these characters. You know, it's not done cheaply. It's not done disrespectfully. He respects everything that he writes and characters that he develops. He develops them with love and care and the respect that they deserve. Chris Chibnall has never done any of that. So, you know, that's just my opinion. But again, all it is arguments that are still happening in the fandom, and the other side still trying to have the same old arguments. It's done. It's done. This era is ending, whether you like it or not. All the kicking and screaming is going to do you no good, because it's done us no good for the last 5 years. Trust me.
We're going to have to put it on slow mode, mate.
Yeah, put it on slow mode.
Oh, I've seen those. Okay. Absolutely. But there again, you know, the proving me point, these people will never grow up. They need to grow up. Shouldn't have to put me chat on slow mode, but there you go. That's the current state of this fandom. And these are the very same people, remember, folks, that will tell us that we're the sexist, we're the bigots, we're the racist, we're the white supremacists, all of this, right? And look at the way they behave in live chats. They come out with racist, bigoted stuff. We've even had some people live on putting on fake Indian accents, and I took them off straight away as soon as I knew.
Unlike Mr. TARDIS, who laughed along with it, thought it was hilarious.
Right. So look, I did show that true colours, and I'm sorry for everybody in the chat that's new to the channel, because literally the channel has exploded since this Doctor Who flux. I don't know whether it seems to have coincided with it, but I just want to thank everybody that has actually
every new season of this Drek brings the shit bags out.
Well, it does. Well, here's the thing. Before this era began, I was on 1,950. We're actually currently now on 2,018 subs now. So the channel has grown. I mean, and it's actually quite. I think it's not a coincidence that my Twitter account has also grown as well in followers. But there you go, because everybody on this channel, we've been limited. Of course, we've been limited. Why wouldn't we be limited? I'll tell you why we're limited, because the people in the chat. That's why.
Yeah,
because
I got it was 10 minutes my last stream before I got limited, and it was as soon as they showed up. And funny thing is, after it processed and went live as a regular video, it was unlimited.
Yeah, same happens to me all the time. But
Done on purpose.
I'm putting this on slow mode now.
Robert, no, you're just in time, actually, so don't
Yeah,
worry.
we
You
haven't
missed
started
it yet.
watching yet, mate.
We haven't started watching. Sorry, I've been blabbing on as usual. But just bear with me. I'm just trying to.
Cybermax says, "Congrats, Noel, on growth of channel."
Yes, congrats, man.
Thanks. It's
And all
been a
hail
bit of
from
a
Peter Harrington.
been a bit of a whirlwind these past couple of weeks, but there you go. It doesn't matter what they do anyway. They won't bring me down. Look, at the end of the day, all the arguments are null and void now. So they could do whatever they want. As I said, they could kick and scream and throw their toys out of their pram. At the end of the day, this era ends, a new era begins. Yeah, okay, there's some fans out there that think that it still go the same way. They have a fair point because we don't know what RTD is going to do. But what we do know is that acting that he does do will be well written. And the characters will be developed well. It'll just be whether it'll be the kind of Doctor Who that we actually want to watch, and that'll be the question that'll be answered when we see what he has to do. Right, I put it on slow mode, so let me know if that that is absolutely disgusting. Let me know if that's
I've taken a screenshot.
Yeah, take the screenshots there. Right, I'm gonna stop looking now.
And the funny thing is, YouTube, until they got rid of their own streaming service, used to filter this stuff out before it even made it to the chat.
But why did they stop? See, I don't understand that anyway.
It's part of their broken system. They got rid of the Google streaming service,
Right?
Because they didn't want to maintain it because it was broken and they didn't want to fix it. So now you use external streaming services, but the filter that used to clear this stuff out apparently is not active anymore. So everything makes it through.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, again, as I said, I'm sick of even on Twitter, I've got people trying to bait me and tag me in stuff, right, to get a reaction out of me. Like, seriously, like, I've gone past the stage of even giving a fuck. Like, I've got to that stage. I just don't care anymore.
Welcome to the club, my friend.
At the end of the day, as I said, no matter what happens, this is over soon. And a lot of fans will be relieved. And whether we could pick the pieces up, repair the fandom, and repair the show under RTD remains to be seen. But it's at least right now, some fans have positivity for the future, because under this current regime, it hasn't happened. And it's quite disgusting what they've actually done to the show if you actually look at it. To destroy a British institution like that so readily and easily is just beyond me. I don't know why you would do that to a show like Doctor Who, and Star Trek is the same, obviously, but Star Trek can be said.
He's not even finished yet. So let's just see what happens on that front, because he's not finished yet.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Yeah, you're right. Right, let's get into this, Watcher. I'm going to stop getting soppy now, but it's just, it's been 5 years now. Just give it up, you crybabies. Anyway, let's get into this. So, is everybody in the chat ready? If you're ready, you know what to do. You press that one button there. Thank you very much. And thanks to the mods for sorting out the chat. Sorry again. It's unfortunately it can't be helped. It's prevalent on all YouTube channels. It's not just my channel. It's all YouTube channels out there. Every YouTube channel is targeted. And as Ballstreck said, they used to have a system there, but instead of fixing it, said, fuck it.
Yeah, they're more interested in protecting the corporate channels by removing the dislike button than actually tackling trolls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which actually would make a difference.
And they forget, and I keep saying this, but it's a true fact.
Hey, Dave.
They forget that it's the guys like us and other YouTubers out there. It doesn't matter how big or small their channel is. but it's that ordinary person, you know, that normal Joe Soap that made their fucking platform, and now they're shilling to the corporations because the corporations are upset with fans because they deliver a shit product, and because they deliver a shit product, the people use their own self-will to hit that dislike button. But yet we're not allowed to do that anymore, because you're not allowed to have self-will, because you have to be a sheep now, because if you don't conform, there's something wrong with you. You're either racist, sexist, you're a bigot, you're this, that, and the other. And I'm actually sick of it. People need to fucking shut the fuck up and just live your lives the way you want to live your lives, but don't encroach on other fucking people. And by the way, everybody's entitled to an opinion. If you don't agree with it, me and Ballstrick don't always agree, me and Lee don't always agree, but we're here every week. We talk to each other. You know, there's no hard feelings, because, you know, we think like normal people, civilized people should. Everybody has
we're
a different opinion, and you must respect each other's opinion, even if you don't agree with it. That's normal society. That's the way we've done things. But no, you just want to change all of that now, and you want us all to conform like little sheep. Well, I'm sorry, this baba black sheep here is not going to fucking conform, right? I have my own self-will, and I have my own opinions, and I'll never change them for anybody.
Absolutely.
Right, and with that speech, I'm going to shut the fuck up. And I'm going to say, let's get it on. So,
Yep.
Queen Charlotte, you know what to do.
Yep, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
And as a note, what we're watching right here, this was my introduction to William Hartnell.
Oh, nice.
I had no idea who the first Doctor was. All I just know is YTV out of Toronto started playing these at 1:30 in the morning. So I decided, well, I'm just going to record it and see what happens. So set my timer. I had no idea who this Doctor was. The earliest Doctor I'd seen was.
Did you notice? Obviously, Doctor Who Day was recently, and I have to say, for a Doctor Who Day, it was very low key.
Yeah, I
noticed that myself.
Doctor Who Day. I was like, I knew it was coming up, and then when people were like, "Oh, it's been," I was like, "What?" So they literally just announced the Abominable Snowman, which we all knew was going to be animated.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice Doctor Who Day completely.
That's what I mean. I didn't myself, but I knew what date it was on. And then when I went onto Twitter to look, now I'm not going to lie, it was trending, but it wasn't trending like 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 tweets. Like, it was a couple of thousand tweets. It's actually
that basically the BBC probably made it trend.
Now, in fairness, people will use the excuse it was over the Thanksgiving weekend and all that. They always have an excuse, but it just goes to show you, right? It doesn't matter what they say. Like, you look at Twitter trends or Google searches for Doctor Who, you'll see that it's all down. It's not just the ratings. Like, I don't think fans get how badly damaged this show actually is. It is going to take a miracle to fix this. But if anybody can do it, it is RTD. I do truly believe that. But I was actually very, not sad. I think the word is melancholy, because Doctor Who Day is always a big thing. It is. Even when the show hasn't done well, it's been a big deal. But this year, it was just nothing. It was just, as Charlotte said, the announcement that they've done it, which we all knew anyway.
Yeah, so it wasn't like even a shock good announcement. It was just, but I think what I honestly think it was that last Doctor Who Day we were still pretty raw, all of us, from that finale. So we weren't really celebrating Doctor Who Day, sadly, in that regard. We were all just fired up because of what they'd done. And now we've all sort of accepted that they've done that. So there wasn't even the fire that we had last year.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's like last year because also last year they did that stupid thing, didn't they? That they said, oh, let's all watch the Timeless Children again. And that got everybody back.
But you see, this is the thing. I think especially our side of the argument, as they say, I think we've all gotten to a stage is we know it's ending now. We know that the two of them are gone. And I think the attitude that most people have, and there still will be people on their side that will still argue and have their debates on Twitter. That's fine. Fair enough. I do it sometimes myself when I do see a ridiculous post. But I think we've just gotten to the stage where, as I said, it's just like we know it's ending now.
It's just a waiting game, isn't it?
It's just a
Really?
waiting game now. We just don't give a crap. Like we're still kind of hoping that this shit show is somehow resolved so the show is in a better state for RTD. But at the same time, we're just kind of like, yeah, well, it's getting closer to the RTD era now. Like we're just 2 episodes left this series.
That's why I do think next year's .2 Day will be really big. I've got a feeling because we'll.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you now, Russell, even under him in 2000, like let's be honest, right? That trailer for 2005 when the show was coming back. Let's be honest, right? I think it was Ballstreck that said it a couple of weeks back. Or sorry, Cultivated Media, formerly Ballstreck.
Okay, man, and nobody knows who I am.
But here's the thing. I think you even said it. I'm pretty sure it was you.
Oh, no, it was
you
me.
said that was one of the best trailers of Doctor Who ever. And
one of the most impactful trailers ever.
Yeah,
period.
Yeah, I agree. And then those little TV spots as well, where every night of the week there was a different TV spot, and then it'd like go 5 days to go.
Daniel says the anniversary is flatter than a can of new recipe iron brew.
New recipe iron brew horrible, is it?
Oh, don't get him started. Don't get him started in the comments.
I got a question. What is iron brew?
It's a Scottish.
It's a Scottish drink.
It's a natural drink, but it's nice. No, I think the old recipe is nice. I haven't tried the new recipe, but I do like iron brew. I have to be honest now. We get it over
Daniel, just so he doesn't have a little bit of a fit in the chat. He's not British, mate. Go easy on Ballstreck.
we have our Canadian beer, which is basically beer flavored alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna add, what's a pram? Yeah, is that like a baby thing?
Yeah,
a baby in. A stroller or a buggy.
I feel so culturally out of touch today.
By goodness.
So what's wrong with iron brew, Daniel? Tell me in the chat.
You're gonna get an essay now.
Oh, I don't care. I want to know because I am actually genuinely interested because they've been changing the recipes of a lot of drinks. They changed the recipe of Fanta as well. And there was a big uproar, but everybody is just accepting.
Yeah, they've taken up half the sugar and put that horrible bloody chemical in it instead. That's
Fanta Zero was all right. I had it by accident.
Is it an alcoholic drink?
No, it's like a fizzy drink.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like beer.
Fizzy drink
it's like an orange fizzy drink.
Fizzy orange, yeah.
Yeah, Hitler's favorite soda.
Do you know what I used to love? That tango drink. You know the tango drink.
We call that orange cola.
Orange cola.
I still got my Gotan doll somewhere.
Or Orange Crush. Do you have Orange Crush? We have Orange Crush.
Yeah,
that
something like that. But
sounds like a Panda Pop. That.
Up in Scotland, we have Red Cola.
You guys have weird things over there.
Yeah.
Like we think you have weird things in Canada, and we'd say the same for Americans. Like,
well, we say I'm going to go to Walmart, where you say I'm going to go to the Tesco's or the Alda or that
Aldi, yeah.
Or that store you have that's named after the country of Iceland that sells frozen stuff.
Iceland.
Yes.
I know it's like
we have M&M frozen meat shops.
Have you ever seen the clip of David Tennant? He's in like a convention in America, and he does a whole thing about how when you say American like supermarket names, they sound odd, and people are like, "Yeah, because you're British, you make it sound even worse." And it's such a funny little thing he does.
Well, you have no Walmart, whereas like on this side of the pond, we have Walmarts everywhere because they killed all the competition. Even Target Canada went out of business.
Oh, do you know what store made a reappearance though after it actually folded? And a lot of the American public, especially, were attached to this shop, but they just didn't bother shopping in it anymore. Toys R Us opened the shop in the UK.
Wow.
Actually, a little known fact: Toys R Us in Canada never went out of business.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Because it's still Toys R Us, but a different owner bought out the Canadian division, although same marketing, same everything.
Right.
So when Toys R Us went tits up, Canada was fine.
I used to love those Toys R Us ads. They were always very wanted you to go to the Toys R Us. We had one here.
Well, have any of you noticed that your HMVs have made a comeback?
Oh, no way, dude.
I've not seen one in ages.
Well, no, they've opened up a few of them. And you know who owns HMV now?
Who?
Sunrise Records out of Ancaster, Ontario, Canada.
All right, there's something I'm not sure about here. Like you've got someone who's just with a gloved hand using a
device
an instrument, removed the lock from the TARDIS, and no one noticed it in that room.
But you're not supposed to do that.
But I didn't think anybody could break into the TARDIS. Like,
I think this was
early days.
Still early days.
In the last couple of stories, somebody's like locked them out the TARDIS because they've nicked like the front.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, when did that whole trope come in with the TARDIS, people not being able to get into the TARDIS then? What was the story? Does anybody remember?
Probably this one.
Well, no, but because I can remember, obviously, in the new Who, there's the famous line of Eccleston when he's like, "Oh, the Genghis Khan and his armies can't get through there."
Yeah.
When Rosie's like, "Oh, it's just a wooden door," and he's like, "No, we're fine."
It was because if they tried to get into the TARDIS, it would upset the internal dimensions of the TARDIS for some reason.
We actually have an ex-employee of Toys R Us in the chat. Wookie Fever, 1969. I worked for Toys R Us from 1999 to 2005 as a front-end manager.
Oh, you must have hated Christmas time, mate.
Oh, Wookie Fever! I must have solidarity. Solidarity is another former retail manager. I have a feeling that if there is a hell, it's managing a sales floor on Boxing Day with no breaks for eternity.
Yeah, what kind of toys did you have as a kid, Ballstrick?
I still have a bunch of them in my basement. I had a full array of Star Wars figures, which at one point would have been worth a lot. I had Star Trek The Next Generation figures.
Yeah, I had that as well.
I had He-Man. Everybody had He-Man.
Yeah, I had He-Man.
Thundercats.
Thundercats.
Pretty much everything.
Did you have the real Ghostbusters?
No Doctor Who. I didn't have any Doctor Who because we couldn't find it here anywhere.
Yeah. It was the Doctor Who toys were Dapol toys back then. It was that was the only the Doctor Who toys.
I still got a Dapol Cyberman somewhere.
No, it was weird because over here we could find, even though Doctor Who is really popular on TV, at least where I was in Canada, you could find like no official merchandise. Like occasionally you might find a book by accident in the store, but I never remember any toys being around, so we never had any toys. Even the VHS releases, at least up here, were hard to come by. You actually had to order them. So it's like if you actually saw something that was, actual official Doctor Who merchandise in a store, you're like, holy crap, this stuff actually exists.
See, that seems like obviously coming from like my generation, where even I can remember even 2005 they had like stuff on the shelf that you could buy. Like it seems so alien to me when I hear you, Chris, and my other people say how there was such a long time with no official merchandise. And how it sort of creeped up and then it became a thing. Well, it's always been there. The BBC's always had it.
Well, it's weird thinking of, because I know a lot of us, we grew up with the original series, and most of us didn't even know it was canceled until a few years later, or put on hiatus. But yeah, it's weird because you guys have always had this. Yeah, we had a time where, really from, I'd say, 89 when the show was canceled until 96, other than some of the novelizations, it was a dead zone. There was nothing. Like, the show was as dead as you get.
See, does anybody else think that the outfits for these staff members look really like air hostesses? And like,
given the budget, they might
pilot.
be. No, they could be because they had no budget back then, so they literally had to steal things.
Yeah. Well, they got most of their models from Shawcraft, and I think they get loads of control panels and all that, and they were all hired back then.
Yeah, and you couldn't have anything overly expensive, and everything had to be insured because this is when they were shooting in Lime Grove, when it would get so hot that the sprinklers would go off and ruin many a set. Actually, that's in the movie, come to think of it.
Yeah.
They had to change on the fire escape because there was no room in between scenes.
See, I just think it would have. I think it would have been so much fun just to be part of that madness, because you just get this vibe that everybody was working, just they all working incredibly hard and trying their best, but it was like a fight to just get everything done at the end of the day.
And you could always tell if it was Lime Grove too, because you could tell everybody looks like they've just had sweat wiped off their forehead.
Yeah.
Because it was always at least 100 degrees in there because it was so small, and because they had to have the lights lower than they would normally. I could just imagine what it was like. And it was all filmed in once over 2 to 4 hour block of just filming in literally a sauna.
Yeah, and poor Bill with his doctor costume. It's not a thick one, but it is layered, so he must have been absolutely roasting.
But, well, you can see him sometimes. He gets his hanky out his pocket and dabs his head with it and that.
No, we've lost Lee.
Oh, he's not usually one to disappear as well, Lee.
Yeah, true. Let's hope he's
must be the weather.
Or his yoke hasn't died.
His what?
His internet or his Chromebook or whatever he's using hasn't died.
No, he uses a Mac, so it's probably died. Macs have a self-destruct button.
Oh, he's back. Here he is. Shh. Let's pretend we weren't talking about him. Shh.
Shut it.
Lee, did your Apple product crash?
No, I clicked on the wrong thing.
No, it crashed. Tell the truth. Apple products are just shy.
Oh, we're not having a tech debate again.
It's not crashed. No.
It's alright, I did it a couple of weeks ago, Lee. I meant to look at the chat and I pressed leave by accident.
No, I pressed back on the browser instead of the volume.
Just admit it, since Steve Jobs died, Apple haven't actually come up with anything original. Have just kind of...
As long as it works, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And then you pay through the nose for it, and then you need to update a certain amount of times, and then there's no more updates for the model.
I had Windows my entire bloody life for years and years and years, and every fucking year something would go wrong, something would crash. You'd have to keep defragging the bloody thing and blah blah blah. Apple does it in the background
now.
Yeah.
Well, one of my earliest still public videos is called "My MacBook Hard Drive Failed." I don't use that.
Why Apple sucks.
I've been back to Windows ever since.
Seriously, man.
But that's okay. To each his own. Because if you do video editing, it does make sense. I'm debating maybe recording a new album, so I'm thinking of getting a refurbished MacBook Air.
Wow.
Just because I haven't found an equivalent in Windows of the GarageBand software. That doesn't
And
cost
Logic
a
is really good now. You can even mix in 5.6 surround now on Logic, and that's a free update.
And that's literally, I won't buy used Apple. I'll get a refurb MacBook Air, and I won't tell anybody I bought it because I'm ashamed.
Yeah.
And then I'll cameo on your album because I have an angelic voice.
We'll get everybody on there.
Yeah, Satan was an angel, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, in one life, yes.
And then you can do your demonic Satanist voice and sing your song.
Lovely.
Yes, no, I Sealy, I have an Asus Strix, which I bought 2 years ago. i7 9700 or 9770K. I got a 28-inch 4K Samsung monitor and my old 27-inch Dell, which is a workhorse because this thing has been on every day for like 6 years straight.
Wow.
Things like indestructible. It used to be my old main monitor. With the previous computer, which I built myself, so we'll call it Chris brand computer. That one lasted almost 6 years.
Yeah, I built one myself.
I don't. Is it easy to build a computer? Because you do see people that
it's not. Honestly, Noel, it's not worth it anymore. When I built mine, it actually was cheaper to just buy the components. Although if you screw it up, say if you screw up installing your CPU, or you forget to put thermal paste on because it doesn't always come pre-installed, yeah, you're out $500 because it melts in about 30 seconds.
Wow.
So as long as you kind of know what you're doing, it's okay. But to be honest, the cost now, because the cost of parts have gone up to the point where it's now really more expensive.
Yeah.
Whereas when I bought my Strix, I got it on sale, actually pre-Black Friday sale like 2 years ago. I think I paid, what was it, 1,600 Canadian for it. Like if I were to buy the components, it would have been over $2,000.
Wow.
So I'm like, yeah, it's, to be honest, it's not like I know you're looking to eventually replace your Chromebook. You don't need anything fancy, Noel. Just you don't get a Celeron or a crappy low end computer, but with you just a basic i5, Intel i5, which I don't know. Canadian, you can usually get them on sale for between $500 and $600. That's all you need.
Yeah, I will be upgrading. I'll have to. Like this Chromebook has served me well. I have to say we've had very few issues. But yeah, eventually, obviously.
Well, it might even be cheaper if you go in and just get just a basic tower, just onboard graphics. It would be cheaper than the laptop. Comparable specs, and your desktop would actually be a little bit more powerful, and it doesn't cost a lot for a monitor. Like in the UK, you could get a 21-inch monitor for like £50 or less, brand new in the box. Or wait, I keep forgetting you're not in the UK. You're yucky euros. Get, like for the equivalent of 100 Canadian or US dollars. So I keep doing this to Noel. I know he's in Ireland because I make fun of it all the time.
Yeah,
and then I'm like,
but there's two Irelands. See, that's where people get confused. There's the
no, I know which one you're in. You're in the one with the rain.
Yeah, and then there's Northern Ireland.
But
eventually it's going to just be Ireland because I think it's heading that way. If the Scots get their referendum and it actually passes this time, then it's just going to be like a house of cards. It's all going to fall apart, and the British Union could actually end up severing, which some people think is a good idea. There's a lot of people, obviously, that don't think it's a good idea, think that the countries are stronger working together. But unfortunately, when they see, the likes of London, then you see parts of Wales or Scotland, try telling those people that being under a union benefits them, that's the problem.
Wookie Fever wants to know what for video editing, which is better, Apple or Windows? Well, that's obvious. It's Apple.
Actually, I kind of have to go with Apple here because Windows hasn't had a pre-installed video editor since they dropped Windows Movie Maker, which got about 4 or 5 years ago now. I think it was early 2017.
And I can recommend a really good free video editor if you.
Well, no, the one that I use after they got rid of Movie Maker, although my videos, they're mainly just screen caps. But I've been using VSDC video editor since Windows Movie Maker went down. It works perfectly fine.
I use Shotcut, which is really good.
I've used really good it. I preferred VSCD a little bit better. I found that Shotcut beat the crap out of my CPU.
Yeah, it gets a bit laggy.
Yeah, but VSDC, it's not system intensive. There's 2 versions. There's the right now I'm just using the free version.
What's it called again? Type it in private chat so I can. Woo! I love the Sensorite disappearing in the window.
Yeah.
VSDC video editor.
That's a bad looking thing.
Well, no, you wouldn't need it though.
That's Macamia's ma or dad there. Macamia's ma and dad. Oh, that's where Macamia robbed her from. You know, the cheap version of E.T., which I actually like. I have a soft spot for that movie. I don't care what anybody says. It's no E.T., but Macamia is a good movie. It has heart. And if it has heart, it's a good movie.
I managed to get the B&M a Hartnell set with the Sensorite figures, and they're actually quite good. The Sensorite figures, they've got quite a range of articulation on them.
They can't fall over. They can't fall over very easy because they've got those big plate feet, don't they?
Yeah.
I love every time I'm on this channel, right? And when Ballstreck and Lee are on, there's always a debate about electronics or something.
I tried to diffuse it because I said, unlike that other brand, which we won't mention, I actually said there's a use for Apple because even though I hate the brand and I will literally like take a knife and scratch off that frickin' Apple, it's either going to be a MacBook Air refurb or Mac Mini refurb, just strictly for recording music. We've got a third debate in here. Robert Campbell Stonebanks says he switched to Ubuntu Linux. I actually have a video which is still on my channel. I think it was 2 parts. I think I got a few of them where I was using Linux. Problem with Ubuntu is I ran into so many driver issues, and it didn't like my graphics card, so I eventually just went back. But yeah, I used to have in my old office. I actually had a separate computer, which has long since melted into nothing. But no, I did have my Ubuntu experimental computer. Now that I don't experiment anymore, I just Windows.
Right, guys, in the chat, please press 1 so we can get going on the next episode. So Queen Charlotte can do the old countdown. But what you call it? I have to say, interesting episode. Some long periods of silence as well, which adds to the whole atmosphere and tension. Well, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this story. I have to be honest with you.
It's a bit dull, to be honest.
Let's call it as it is. Yeah.
For me, it's nostalgic. It was Strangers in Space was my introduction to hard L. So for me, I guess I'm a little biased because I have fond memories because I had no idea who was the Doctor before Patrick Troughton. So for me, I look at it this way, but yeah, it is not a good story.
Yeah.
It's like watching paint after it's dried.
Yeah, which is fun actually. But Queen Charlotte, if you'd like to do the honors.
Yep. Yeah. I was like, if I could get my cough out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. Go.
But I do like the cliffhanger of the little alien dude showing up on the view screen.
Yeah.
It's like Macamia's mother or father.
Yeah. I hate
the very first introduction to the first Doctor was back then as a child I didn't see any of his episodes. The first introduction was the Doctor Who exhibition in Blackpool, when I first got aware of the first Doctor, and he had a lot of adventures beforehand and that. And I could remember at the exhibition there was photographs of William Hartnell, and during rehearsal and all that, and I was looking up and I could see them all in that. And
my first introduction was I think the Five Doctors, really, and that was obviously not William Hartnell, but
yeah,
when I was again at my high school, we had our Doctor Who club, and we got introduced to a lot of surviving Bill Hartnell stories. Were a lot lesser than there are now, and it was really interesting. I mean, very bad quality. Like, you could barely make out what was going on.
Well, that was normal for the UK.
Well, it was before any VHS or it was copies of videos of copies of videos of copies of videos.
Have you seen the documentary on Revenge of the Cybermen, where it's based off that, like how in the UK you'd get copies of copies of copies of copies, and they actually have one section where they show how bad the degradation got as each copy went down.
Yeah, really
and
bad.
After the 10th generation, it was so bad they couldn't even capture it into the modern video editor.
There was we had some, I think it might have been Inferno. It was still in black and white, it was a copy of a copy of a copy, but it was still in black and white because it'd been recorded off the TV, in some form or other, back when it was in black and white.
But that
go ahead, Charlotte.
But that just shows the dedication and the the lengths the fans in the past have gone for this show.
I love the fans that colorize. Look, personally, I think the William Hartnell and the Troughton eras anyway should stay black and white. But it does be delightful sometimes to see a scene where they've colorized a scene from Hartnell's Doctor or Patrick Troughton's Doctor, and it does look really impressive. But it's the same with the animations as well. I won't watch them in color.
Kind of reminds me that the colorizations that fans have done kind of reminds me of the Doctor Who, the Doctor Who and the Daleks movies. It's got that kind of Pantone kind of feel to it. That I like.
Technicolor, wasn't it?
Technicolor,
it was on the out end. So
I love Technicolor. They need to. They don't make the film anymore. I wish they did, because I'd love them to film Technicolor in modern day. Because it's color, but it's not realistic color. It's
I agree.
Dream, but it just adds so much character. That's what I love about 50s and 60s movies, is the Technicolor. It's so vibrant.
No, I agree with you. Absolutely, 100%. I mean, look, even movies today, as you pointed out, I find a lot of movies when you're watching them, the colors are quite stark.
I like how vibrant they are. It's very saturated, which I like.
It's the problem is what kind of many things killed creativity in cinema, but the worst thing that ever happened, even though it was more affordable and convenient, was just filming digitally in digital video. Because the film has a texture. I love watching film. The actual grain. That's what gives movies its character, whereas now nothing has any life to it unless it's filmed on film. Which is, I gotta say, speaking of a film, Noel, so Mac and Me, a staggering 4% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What is
Mac and Me?
No way. So you don't like that movie either?
No, I watched it in '88. My dad rented it, and we watched it, and we both agreed this is shit.
Yeah.
I just have a soft spot. It's better than Howard the Duck anyway.
See, we all have our guilty pleasures.
Seriously,
he's got a hole in his shoe.
That's true. We do have our guilty pleasures. That would be a guilty pleasure for me. I have to be honest. And Howard the Duck is one for you. I have another guilty pleasure as well. Actually, I'm not embarrassed to say it, but even though the movie is absolute rubbish, I thought he was perfect for the part. But Popeye with Robin Williams, I love that movie. I have a soft spot for that movie. Even the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Oh God. Oh
Yeah, I
well,
have a
it
soft
doesn't.
spot
No,
for
it
that,
actually
even
has
though
it's
it's
so bad. It's
awful
good
and I love
quality.
the game. I just love Dennis Hopper in it. I just love Bob Hopkins. I can never say his name properly, but he's not with us sadly anymore.
Yeah.
But he even said that that was the worst movie of his career, which is fair enough. It is really pretty bad.
I
But
saw that in the theater, dude.
oh man, I can imagine how disappointed you must have felt, man. After
I was it was young Bulls Trek, and he smoked some happy stuff before seeing it, which was the only thing that made it bearable. And
Yeah.
Peter Harrington says This Island Earth, great sci-fi film. I do agree. I actually
It's a beautiful
have it.
film to look
I
at.
have the Screen Factory edition on the shelf behind me.
Some
Actually-
stunning visuals in that.
Yeah, another movie actually, going back to old sci-fi movies, I have a soft spot for this movie as well. I actually think it's pretty good, but it's a very short movie. When Worlds Collide.
Yeah.
Love that
Yeah,
movie.
I have seen it. I don't own it. I think I had it on VHS once, actually.
Yeah, good movie, but it's a very short movie. It's only on for about an hour and 20 minutes or something, or an hour and a half, bang on. But it's a good movie, I have to say. But you've got that dramatic voiceover during the movie. 3 days to go until impact. Like it's
No, that was normal length for back then. They didn't have a set hour and 20-minute length for movies back then, so they could be shorter. So yeah, it wasn't uncommon for something to only be an hour, even less than an hour.
PD Rich says at the TARDIS Zone YouTube channel and Ballstrek formerly, why don't you two do it? Howard the Duck and Mac and me double watch along.
Oh God.
I wouldn't put Ballstrek through Mac and me if he really doesn't like it.
Well, we've been planning Howard the Duck for like a year.
But maybe it is time that we did actually get that done and over with, and actually let him suffer a little bit
Well,
as
it's like,
well.
PD, I did see Mac and Me. I saw it in 1988. It was horrible, and I haven't wanted to see it since.
Well,
I've seen YouTube videos of other people making fun of it.
Well, maybe we should do the double feature watch along.
Okay, we'll do that as a Christmas thing.
Right, we'll do it over the Christmas. We'll organise it. We'll see what date suits the both of us, and then we'll do that because obviously Doctor Who's not on over the Christmas, so we don't have to concentrate on that. And we'll get it going on because
we'll have to drag since
genuinely
PD
love
made the
that
recommendation. We have to drag him along too. Like, dude, if you're making me suffer through that, I'll make you suffer through it.
Mutual suffering all around.
So yeah, why not do that? It'll be fun.
I'm sure you enjoyed Critters as well.
Fuck's sake,
Actually,
man.
I love Critters.
Right, but the debate we had, right? So here was the thing, right?
Tremors.
I said to John, pick a movie, right? And he picked Critters, right? And while we were
I
watching,
love that. That's a great movie.
I was like, I didn't like it when it came out. I still don't like it now. And then he admits that
It was just a Gremlins cash grab, really.
yeah, it was.
It was a different kind of story. Oh yeah, Pizza. The Thing. I actually own The Thing, literally 4 times over, and I haven't gotten the 4K yet.
Right, here's the thing though. I'm gonna ask you a question, probably boil your blood for asking you. But as you do obviously review media now and you're doing horrors, I have to ask you about the prequel that they did. Are you a fan of the prequel? Or do you dislike the prequel and there's only one movie for you, which is the original with obviously no, not the original because there was another obviously.
They're all based off the same story.
Yeah.
I still like There Is Only One Thing. To be honest, I own the reboot, which wasn't a reboot; it was a prequel. Oh well, yeah, you said that. I've only watched it once. It's like the 2 recent Alien movies. I remember almost nothing of what happened in it. All I just remember was, I like the other one.
Right.
I might have to watch that again.
Detail was I think the people behind it really did care about it because you could see the attention to detail that they actually put in it. Because if you watch it if you watch the prequel first and then watch the original, and then you see what they did in the prequel, it actually does fit in with what happens with the one with Kurt Russell. But the problem that I've seen people, or the comments that people make, obviously they used practical effects back in the day, and they used CGI this
Well, that
time
was the
around.
problem I had with it. That's the
Yeah.
problem a lot of people had with it. But no, the versions I have, I still have one DVD which has a commentary that was censored because it was deemed offensive. I've got the original Blu-ray release, which is a terrible transfer, but it has this video and video commentary, so you can actually watch the documentary with the various scenes. I have the original slipcover Scream Factory Blu-ray edition, which wasn't
Yeah.
bad, although the color timing was off. So I also have the Steelbook Scream Factory re-release, which includes their original transfer, but also includes the transfer with the color timing corrected, which was done by Arrow Video, which had been released in the UK, but we got it on Scream Factory in Region 1. And I want to get the thing 4K, which came out recently, which will be the 5th version I own.
Wow.
Big Darrington said, "You got to be kidding." Hello, Leland. Just think that's funny.
It is, well, Dave, I have heard it's awesome. The thing is, I want it with the slipcover because I don't want to order it from Amazon because they suck. They really suck now. Get a non-slipcover version. So I'm trying to find it locally. I think they probably have it at Best Buy, but the problem is I have to go into Best Buy.
Yeah, they tried to pull a fast one with Cheryl Amazon, actually. She bought a load of stuff, she did, and it turns out it was the wrong stuff or something, so she had to send it back. But because they hadn't got what she wanted a refund. And you know what they did? They decided to give her a virtual gift card. That's
I
not
hate
what
that.
she wanted. She wanted a
they've
refund
done that to me too.
So she rang them up. She eventually got it sorted, but the cheek of them, like,
Yeah.
the cheek of them to try think, oh well, they'll still buy from us, even though, like, some people will change their mind. They'll go for their second option, which she did, and it wasn't necessarily on Amazon. So, like, stop that crap thinking people will just accept a virtual
Yeah,
gift
but it's
card.
Amazon. They're cocky. It's like
Yeah.
As soon as they got a monopoly over everything, like they used to be really good, but they've killed so many industries that now it's their prices on DVDs. Well, I don't buy DVDs much, but Blu-rays and 4Ks used to be great. Now they're crap. For new releases, it's often $10 cheaper at Walmart. Their shipping is here. It's a nightmare because my entire part of the city is handled by one shipping company now because they got the whole contract. I only get one out of every 2 packages. The other ones just get sent back to Amazon or lost in the mail.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've had so many issues with Amazon in the past with delivery. Oh, it's unreal.
Well, what I do
Yeah.
now is
Missing,
there's a shipping point, but a lot of the local post offices are crap. So the only way I know that I can actually get it without it being lost is I have to have it sent to the main post office downtown, which sucks because that means I have to go downtown. And there's always a drugged out bum that hangs out in front of it, so we always have a conversation. That's interesting.
Do you know what though? This is actually a true fact. They seem to care when they're small and they're humble. Then as soon as all these companies get big and they become monsters, then they don't care. Then all the things they used to stand for have gone out the window because it's all about just making that money. It's sad. YouTube's gone the same. It's the same with obviously Amazon and other companies out there. They just, when they're smaller, they care more about the customer. But when they get bigger, when the customer is being loyal to them, then they start treating their customers like crap because they know, if they lose a customer, another idiot will come along and become a customer of them until they screw them over. And that's
we have no choice. If I want to, like, I'm a movie collector. I have to go through Amazon to get a lot of this because most of all these boutique companies are in the States. Shout Factory isn't bad for shipping. Vinegar Syndrome is okay. But the other ones, there's a boutique label that came out with a special 3-disc edition of the original I Spit on Your Grave. So they had it, normally it goes for $60. They had it on sale for Black Friday for $30 American. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll pick this up. So the Canadian conversion, it comes to like $40. Then I go to shipping, $50 US. To hell with that.
Yeah.
So it's exclusive to that company, but I'm like, no, I'm not paying you that much for shipping. There's no way it's costing you that much. Whereas like I'll order like 14, 15 things from Vinegar Syndrome and it's $8.
Daniel says EA are scum too. Yeah, well, you're going to give out to me. So obviously you used to watch me FIFA streams, as you know, and I had a rant, if you remember, Daniel, and I said, no matter what EA do, I'm not going to buy FIFA 22. But unfortunately, I've done what a lot of FIFA fans do. They get angry, but they still go out and buy the game. So I bought FIFA 22.
Why? It'll be the same bleeding game, mate.
Right, but that's what I thought. But this one is completely different. And it actually feels like a proper football game. Now, it still does screw you over sometimes, I'm not going to lie. But it's a lot better than last year's game. And in this one, which I do like, they've added something to the career mode. You can now create your own club and you can choose what league you want to be in. You name the team, pick your stadium, pick your crest. I know Lee doesn't like football talk, so I stopped. But all I'll just say is, Daniel, I succumbed and I bought the new FIFA.
Is that the soccer game?
Yeah, the soccer
Meanwhile, back to the show, Leland Gort says, I wonder if we will ever see the Sensorites reappear in the show. It would be good to see more aliens that are not hostile. I mean, I think they look great. I think it would be nice to see them doing something.
As much luck as seeing the Crotons again.
Yeah.
In fairness, you know, RTD introduced a lot of classic Jordan his and new. Now, obviously, I think I've said it. I think when he comes back, he needs to just all new monsters and just forget about some of the classics for a while. But when they find their feet again, then start introducing more classic. I'd love to see the Sea Devils return. Yeah, I'd like the Sea Devils to return. And Daniel says, no, what the F? Why would you can't polish a third? Well, this third is actually being polished well.
This turd is not for polishing.
But that's just, look.
I was going to say that you know Daniel's not happy with you because he's written in capitals and he rarely does that.
I know, but listen, even Cheryl will tell you, right? Not once have I screamed at the TV playing this game compared to what we did last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been actually calm playing this game, which is, and it's a lot harder than last year. It's just, I feel the controls are a lot more natural now. They have actually stepped it up, I have to say. But here's the thing. They probably make their best FIFA game, and now EA is gone now. EA is not going to be doing FIFA anymore, but I'll shut up about the football. But going back to all villains you'd like to see, as I said, the Sea Devils, I'd love to see them. But I'd love them to bring back the original Silurians.
Nah, they won't ever do that.
I know they won't, because we have the design that we have now, but I would love the original. I wonder where they bought those masks.
They are a bit of an odd mask, aren't they?
Well, they didn't get them from Wish for $17 like they did with the current era.
Are you still banging on about that mask?
Well, I think it's abhorrent.
No,
I don't think there's any excuse.
I do think it's disgraceful, but again, I'll tell you, I said this on this channel, he was over budget, so maybe they had to skimp out on something.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, surely they could have gone to like the lengths of, I don't know, bit of paper mache on it or bit of paint. Like, really?
Well, can they not be? Here's the thing, very interesting question that nobody's brought up. So obviously someone designed that mask, right? So
did they get any money for
changes, absolutely no changes whatsoever to that mask, as everybody's pointed out. Well, then would that company now have grounds to kind
They
of.
should sue them.
They should. If they don't get pay, yeah, they should definitely go for it. They'll have a case.
That was abysmal, really.
No,
Embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Come on.
I'm not defending it.
No,
What was
embarrassing,
embarrassing? I missed that. What's embarrassing?
So the mask that your man was wearing in Doctor Who Flux, you know, the one that wasn't talking.
Yeah, Passenger. The big thing called Passenger.
So
that the Swarm and Azure have.
That they're using was bought off this cheap ass website called Wish. You've probably heard of it.
I know of Wish. Oh crap, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so Lee and all put up a load of posts about it. Actually, maybe tag him in the post to show him the comparison.
Yeah, I'll do that now.
Yeah. So they basically cheaped out because they've obviously blown all their budget on whatever they've blown all their budget on. But we did speak about it on this channel. We were told by my sources that they were over budget and they were also behind schedule. So that mask just coming into it now kind of confirms that they must have been really tight for cash by the end, because, you know, if they're buying cheap masks off a cheap website that sells things like, you know, mostly come from China, well, then they're definitely in trouble, you know. I don't know, man. It is laughable. But then I kind of think, well, Classic Who did it too. But then people make the argument, well, it's Doctor Who in 2021. Like, they shouldn't be relying on.
Yeah, and the difference is, like, with Classic, they would make a change. They do something.
But here's the thing as well that's kind of mind-boggling, right? The creative team behind this series, were some of them laid off, and that's why they started to use them, because we don't know what other stuff. Maybe that jacket that Passenger is wearing is probably off a site as well. Maybe someone needs to look deeper into that. Maybe they've gotten a lot of stuff off this site, and if that's the case, well, then maybe there was no creative team. Maybe the creative team or most of it was slashed due to budget cuts because he's blown the budget.
See, I thought the laying off happened when basically they'd finished, because obviously a new team's coming in. Not like while they were still. I thought the laying off happened once they'd finished, not during production.
I don't know, but if you think about it, like, why would you mean to tell me now? See, this is the thing that's baffling me, right? And this is why I asked the question. You mean to tell me nobody in the creative team could come up with a mask design for Passenger? Nobody was that smart or intelligent enough. Even I'm not an artist, right? But I'm pretty sure I could draw a mask for a character in a show. Yeah, it mightn't look great, but people would get an idea what I'm actually trying to create. You mean to tell me that nobody inside that creative team could come up with a mask?
Well, no, the answer is all the creative energies went to the Swarm because it's the best design thing they've done for 5 years.
Yeah, you're probably fucking right.
There you go. I've sent it to you on Twitter there, Chris.
The new account? Okay, just a sec.
Right, I'll get the next episode ready. Everybody in the chat, press one. You know what to do. Press one in the chat, and then we'll get going on this. Right, I'll just pause it there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You got to be kidding me.
No.
You got to be goddamn kidding me. They bought a $20 mask off Amazon. No, it's not. Did they? They did.
Yeah.
Blatantly, yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know.
The new boots are just basic New Rock boots. Yeah, I had a pair of those New Rock boots.
Oh, I used to wear New Rock boots.
There's nothing wrong with buying New Rock boots if they're part of an ensemble costume. The reason why people...
Well, they wore New Rock boots in Alien Resurrection. Alien Resurrection, they wore New Rock boots.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? I think why everybody's giving out, and Lee will probably agree or disagree. He can tell me if I'm on it here, right? But I think the reason why people are in uproar is not the fact that they bought a $20 mask off Amazon. It's the fact that they got this mask and they did absolutely nothing with it to change it. That's the problem, right? If you're going to buy a mask, fair enough, right? And you want to get away with little things like that, well, then do something different to the fucking mask so people don't figure it out that you bought it off Amazon in the first fucking place. And that's the problem. That's why people are outraged.
But that's the most expensive place. I saw, I think it was like Wish.com or one of those cheap ass ones. It was like $7 something. The same mask. And yeah, as you say, no change made to it whatsoever.
Now, don't get me wrong, the costume around it makes the mask look good, but the fact that that lazy, that's the thing that
easiest cosplay ever.
That baffles me. Even Lee has an artistic mind, as you know. He would have been able to do something with that mask that made it look different, that people wouldn't know. That, and I know he does video editing and stuff, but I'm pretty sure if he got his hands on the mask, he could come up with some fantastic ideas. And
I've won prizes before for
and do something different with it. But it was just the pure laziness of it all. So it's either laziness or some of this creative team. It's even worse than what we thought behind the scenes. Maybe some of the staff were laid off before, even though we were told it was after, and there was a clear out done after they'd finished filming. But they're not always going to tell the truth about, especially behind production. BBC as well, especially propaganda. Everything is all right behind the scenes. Remember, we've been hearing that for the last 5 years, but we all know that's bullshit, right? So I don't know, man. It's either that or it's just, as PD says, their creative bankruptcy, which is fucking sad, because you look at what they were working with even in this episode, right? And you look at what they've done all the way through this show's history and how creative these people that were actually working on the show were.
It's an insult to every costume and prop person that's ever gone before in the history of this show, who's gone to so much trouble to make even the smallest props, even the smallest costumes, even the smallest details, just for these fuckers to come along, pick out a fucking mask on a Google search and go, oh, that'll do. You know, that is such an insult. It really is.
It is. I'm actually quite baffled by it. You mean to tell me, right, that obviously the budget that this story would have had, right, which I don't know, right, compared to the budget that they have now, you mean to tell me that nobody could create I'm sorry. If that's what's happening, I'm glad Bad Wolf Studios has taken over, because we do know his creative team have created some wonderful things. So,
do you want to show that picture so people know what we're talking about? I'll send it to you. No.
Of the mask.
Yeah.
I think most people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, some people don't.
Right. So for anybody that doesn't know, this is how lazy they are in the production of producing the show that we love, right? And this is no joke. Like this, like how they've been able to get away with this for the last 5 years is just beyond me. But I'm just glad now that it's over, because, you know, I'm sick of this mediocre crap that we've been served and told that it's Doctor Who. Never will be Doctor Who. The fact that they actually have one of the biggest budgets, as we were told, and they go and they buy this mask and not change it one bit, is just beyond
lazy.
Me.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, they ripped off Pudding Station, and you can see they took the glass out of the eyes and put in a black part, and they like kind of covered up the holes in the mouth.
Yeah, they put little bulbs.
Well, actually, yeah, I think something like that. But this is just this is some of the laziest crap I've like. At least when you know Michael Myers was wearing the William Shatner mask, The mask was so creepy, it kind of made sense, and they got permission to do it. And they did it specifically because it was a widely available mask, and it looked creepy as hell. This is just lazy. This is unbelievable. I thought you were joking until you sent me this. Holy crap.
And just if people aren't clear because the image on the left isn't that clear. If you actually look at it, better pictures of the character, such as it is, you can actually see every single detail on the mask on the right is present. So it's not a copy. It's not based on that. It is the actual mask itself. Yeah.
And that's where
I
we
tell
go
by looking at it, but no, if you look at the contours and stuff, I'm like, it's the same goddamn mask.
And remember, folks, these are the very same people that have been claiming that they love making Doctor Who, right?
Yeah, that they have so much fun.
Yeah, they're lazy, right? They're just lazy, don't give a shit, never have, right? That's the problem. Doctor Who needs to be made by someone who genuinely loves the topic and
not cutting corners.
Yeah,
Like that.
Exactly.
That's so blatant.
Half-arse it like Chibnall has done and bring in the wrong people to do jobs that they shouldn't be really doing because they're not qualified.
I mean, you go to all that. You go to all that. I will give credit where credit's due. Like the amount of effort that went into making Swarm and Azure, and it looks fantastic. You know, I mean, you know, you might argue that round the eyes it's a bit not so great, but like.
But overall,
it's a striking look. It's effort thrown in, and then you go and ruin it all by getting a short bought mask and then putting that on the third character. It's so
They probably hired somebody that wasn't on the production team to design that because the production team is useless.
Yeah, it's shocking. It really is shocking.
Well, remember,
I'm not shocked anymore.
Of this person, so not picking up for them. But what if when the leaked photo that was months and months ago, right? So what if the leaked photograph was leaked and that how long is that mask actually in production? That's the thing.
Oh no, that look, you know, that's not just something that's hastily thrown. Like, I mean, come on, like it's one of a line of masks. They all sort of have a similar look to it. So it's like these masks have been around for paintballing or biking or whatever, and they have, you know, a series of collection of different types of skull-like masks, all in a similar style. So it fits in that range. So that's something that's been around for a while.
And just one thing, before we go, Argios George, Argiu, I hope I'm getting that right, but he says, didn't they use signal lights from a Mini Cooper for the lights on top of the Dome of the Dalek? I believe they did. And the plungers, the early plungers literally were toilet plungers. But the thing is, they were repurposing what they had, which is what you did in TV. Like everything they did was repurposed from something. But it was still creative. Like they put these things together to create something new. Chips and Friends literally just threw a Halloween mask that cost $20 on an actor.
Yeah, basically.
Seriously, yeah, that's what I mean. They had whatever was available to them. They made it work. But if you're Chris Chibnall and his creative team, you find a mask, you do nothing with it, you stick a costume on this person and you just roll with it. It's just pure laziness and disrespectful, as Lee said, to all those people that worked on the creative side of Doctor Who. Absolutely bloody ridiculous. But here, let's get into this next. The last episode tonight, remember, we're splitting this in two. So let's get it on. Like donkey.
Bang a gong.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Where I go. Go.
Maybe we should stick to what's actually happening in the episode. Just a suggestion.
Oh, come on, it does. That never happens.
Yeah.
It wasn't my fault this time.
It has. It's just this episode is not the greatest, so you know, it's very hard to kind of keep focused.
We're making it passable, and
I would just like to say that this time it wasn't my fault because I don't believe I instigated any of these conversations. I just took part in them.
Absolutely spot
he totally fucking did, by the way.
I did?
No, he didn't.
Totally did.
He
Yeah, I
did.
probably did.
You just want to blame him when it was really
Yeah, because believe it or not, I like to blame people who are responsible.
That's it. That's it. It's really you, but you blame us.
It's like all areas of Doctor Who that's suffering. It's not just confined to the current era of this show. I mean, I picked up Galaxy 4 a couple of days ago, and the animation is pretty bad in it. I have to
Yeah,
say,
I've
and
heard
the
that.
likeness. The
Why
likeness
does
to
he
William
look like
Hartnell.
he's wearing like the Doctor's got like these massive shoulders? Looks like an American football player, you know.
Yeah, and
And his
it's
head
like
looks tiny.
it's like they don't
Weird.
have the body language, but they can't imitate the body language. And it's like, see his bow tie thing, his necktie.
Mm.
It's just like a drawn blob.
Yeah, but see, what they've done is they've outsourced all the animations, so
Yeah,
they're not
Yeah, they
done
got
in
that one
house.
company that doesn't know what they're doing.
I was going to say, which team's Galaxy 4? Because obviously there's different teams. So which one's done that one?
I think it's it's done by BBC Studios. It's I think it was a load of Diversity Hire that done it.
Yeah, because
Sounds about right.
Because Evil of the Daleks, because that's the last one beforehand, and that looks lovely. I've not got around to watching mine yet. So
Yeah,
who did Evil of
I
the
can't
Daleks?
fault Evil of the Daleks. It's quite good.
So who did that
Okay.
one?
I'm not sure. I would have to look at it.
I think all the animations have been outsourced to India now, right?
Well, see, I can't
Yeah.
believe that, because if you put Evil of the Daleks next to what you've just described, to me that looks like two different teams.
Yeah.
Oh
And,
yeah, no, it is.
And then I think it's somebody called Rob Ritchie that done the rendering of the TARDIS for Galaxy 4, and the TARDIS is quite good, the TARDIS exterior, but for the interior, the console's way off, the roundels are way off, the Doctor's way off, and Vicky seems taller than Maureen O'Brien.
This one sounds like an outsource to me, the way you're talking.
Yeah. It completely is, because you could see it in the end credits, who's made it and all that, and it's a lot of people
Names
that
you
are,
don't recognise.
yeah, Diversity Hire.
See, I think it's such a daft move to do that with some of these, because unless I'm wrong, but I can see the end game for all these animations is that they can make a big Blu-ray box of characters and Hartnell.
They're doing them as cheaply as possible, because they know down the line in the future, you know, when the technology improves and gets better, they'll be able to do them all over again and re-release them with the new technology. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know that fans have a hunger for classic stuff, and even if it isn't animation and they complain about it, they know fans are still going to buy it, still lap it up, and still watch it. So, you know, unless people stop buying and demand that they're actually treated with the respect that they deserve, and stop changing things in them as well, because that's a lot of another thing that fans don't like. Like, these people seem to have a creative license to change things. They
background, isn't it?
They should leave them the way they were written, right? And if you're not going to do it to the way it was written and do it justice that way, well, then in fairness, I don't think you should be actually doing them at all.
Mm.
And remember, deep fake technology is coming in now. In about 10 years' time, it'll be in its, I reckon it'll be in its prime, as they say. And they might go down that route, you know?
Well, I think the next stage is motion capture, isn't it? Looks like that's their next sort of jump, that they're doing, because that's why that Troughton one looked terrible. Which one was it?
Oh,
Fury of the Deep.
No. Web of Fear.
Yeah, because you can tell that that's their first time trying to do the motion capture stuff.
Yeah,
And it's
that wasn't.
so clear that when a team doesn't know what they're doing with that technology, because it just comes across as like,
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard to look at William Hartnell and look at his features and all that, and to look and to sit down and watch a Doctor Who episode and see all the little things he does, like with his eyes and all that, and his facial expressions and all that. This animation looks dead. It looks like it's done without care. It's done. It's a lot of the
It's a
other
money
stuff
grab.
is.
It's a money
That's all
grab.
it is.
It's all been a
And-
money grab. Even Time Lord Victorious, I
Oh,
told you
God,
that was a money grab. I
So
told you
is
that
it.
the audios were a money
Oh
grab.
God, that one absolutely
him.
nowhere.
Even if they are good, the 9 Doctor audios, he only came back because they threw money at him. So
Yeah.
again, that's kind of left a little sour taste in me mouth. But even Big Finish's trailers are actually becoming very. They're something to actually watch.
Yeah.
Oh, they're good. They're trailers.
They're very good. They're actually very good. See, when you got people that are look, Big Finish is just like BBC is awash with all of these idiots that have agendas. But within Big Finish, there's still some good people there, still some creative people in there, and you can tell by these trailers. Every Big Finish trailer that I've seen last year and this year has actually been very good, and I wish that it was actually a proper TV episode.
But do you know why their trailers are good? Because they've kept some of the old guard, some of the names from 5, 10, 15 years ago. They
Yeah,
didn't kick them all out. They didn't want to get a new load of younger, trendy people in. They've kept some of those names. Because I can't think of the guy who does the music, I think, for the Big Finish trailers. He's like been in Doctor Who fandom for ages, from
Yeah.
what I can tell.
yeah, that's the good thing. It's like you're right. There's a balance there, and they do try bring in people, obviously that have talent, but the odd one will slip through the net as they always do. So it's.
I mean, the animation for the Galaxy 4 is pretty poor, but the color resolution's pretty good. It's good to even when you watch it in black and white, but for the person that drew William Hartnell, it just doesn't look like William Hartnell at all. It looks like the Tall Man out of Phantasm.
No, I haven't. The last one I got was just the DVD release of the Macro Terror. I haven't picked up any of the animations. I'm just gonna, when they come out in the full series set, which is definitely gonna happen, I'll just buy them when they come out like that. I'm not in any hurry to watch
Yeah,
them.
I still haven't watched Evil. I'm dying to watch Evil of the Daleks. It's a story that I've heard a lot about. But I just hope that they haven't, had creative license to do what they want. I hope they told the story the way it was originally told.
Well,
But
I've not heard any of that. I said I'll get round to watching mine, but I think you would have heard something, mate, if they would have done any significant changes.
yeah, I can't.
It's even like the faceless ones as well, where they put in the different masters as well.
Yeah, there are certain little things like that. I was highlighting that last year on Jordan Series 11 because they started making little changes. And I compared the two as well. They were very clever. In the black and white version, it'd be slightly different to the color version. It was very clever how they actually did it. But eagle-eyed fans were taking screenshots and everything. And then it was apparent because I remember when I put up the picture, people were saying to me, "Oh no, that's not on my DVD copy," and I was like, "I'm telling you, it's there. Pause or have a look. You will see the poster of the master is right there, and he shouldn't be. That master shouldn't be there. In one, it was just one master, and then in another poster, I think it was the color version, if I'm correct. Even Sasha Dewan's master was there, and I was like, "Well, why is Sasha Dewan's master there? Oh Jesus!" Like,
Probably
so just,
You've not created a massive plot hole. For the
Yeah,
master
so
to be there.
Yep.
he put the master in the, yeah, it was obviously to plug a plot hole that he created. But again, I don't like that. The reason why fans want these is because obviously some of us weren't born when it was originally aired. And obviously fans at the time remember the story and remember how good or bad it actually was, but they want to basically, go out and buy it because, they're interested to relive those memories that they had back then. And then for people like me that have never seen it, only what the telly snaps and all the other stuff, I wouldn't know anything about this story. So and I'll watch it in black and white, by the way. I never watch the animations in color, even though you do have the option. Hartnell's there is in black and white, so I watch the animation in black and white. So
It's a lot better in black and white, I can tell you, because I watched it in colour and it's absolutely hopeless.
I just love the way you're so blunt about it.
Yeah, well, it's the animation. It's so jarring. It's so all over the place. It's unbelievable and so jerky, and the hand movements and everything, the arm movements and that. And, I mean, probably a 5-year-old could do a better job than that. But it's the price that they actually pay for these DVDs, and they're giving you 3 DVDs inside it or 2 DVDs inside it, and with all the extras and all that. But £15 for that Galaxy 4 DVD.
Yeah, but everybody will buy it though. Like you're
Yeah.
even complaining, but I guarantee you're gonna go out and buy Galaxy 4 because it's part of the missing story.
Yeah.
And that's the appeal. Yeah, we know they're bad, and I even complain. But like I've enjoyed, even though some of the animation and some of the stories is jarring, I've really enjoyed watching them. The
Yeah.
thing about it is that I do agree it is a cash grab. They don't care about the quality control, basically. And they'll just throw it out because they know fans will buy it. And then later on, as Bolstrek said, they'll release all the series then as a full Blu-ray release with all the animations part of it. Then those filling in those missing gaps, basically selling
Well, there
it.
was a time where, if you see what I used to do, I would have pre-ordered the UK. The UK versions are region free, in case anybody was wondering. The Blu-rays, you can actually play them in region 1. You can import them if you want. But there was a time where I would have had them all pre-ordered months in advance. Here it's like, meh, I'll just wait a couple years when they come out in the sets.
Yeah.
And OPD said, I tend to buy the DVDs over the Blu-ray animations as I keep seeing Elising on the edge of the 1K animations. Yeah, I could imagine, given the quality of some of the animations, the render job probably leaves a lot to be desired. So, yeah, 480p, you don't have the details, so you won't see it.
I mean, all the stuff is rushed and just put out there, and it's just it is a cash grab in a way.
Well, look at it. I'm holding out. Do you remember that it used to be a novelty that they'd actually announce an animation?
Yeah.
Now, what did I say to you on this channel? What did I say when the chips are down the money? I guarantee you that all of a sudden I did a stream back months and months back. It was last year, and we were talking about Doctor Who animations, and I even brought that point up in the video, in that stream. I remember, and I actually said, "Don't be surprised if all of a sudden, when BBC have lost a shit ton of money, that all of a sudden, animation after animation gets released."
Yeah, they're popping out every other bloody month now.
Yeah.
Well, no, when they started them in 2006, 2007, the first ones were animated in 2006, which were 2 episodes of The Invasion. It was a lot more expensive to do animation 14 years ago, well, 15 years ago. Whereas now, just somebody with rudimentary animation experience can easily do them on just a higher than average PC, and that's what
Yeah.
we're getting.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
and
like the cheap anime studios. You know how you get software like called Anime Studio and Debut 10, and then you
Yeah.
can create up your character and all that, hair sets, hand sets, face sets, and all that. That's exactly what this is. This actually is, and that's
Yeah.
all it's done for quickness.
Well, there's
Because I mean, I
fan
doubled with
animations
it.
that are far superior.
It's all about
Yeah.
workflow. You know, once you
Yeah.
get the template, then you just sort of swap things in and out. It's
That's it.
Yeah.
digital.
But
It's easy.
they're doing it. They're only doing it because, as I said, and people can deny it all they want, but this era of Doctor Who has really dented the financial. The Doctor Who used to pull in some money, let's just say, and it hasn't. So they've gone to something that they know that will sell. If you look at their strategy over the last couple of years, especially the last 2 years, David Tennant starts the announced Time Lord Victorious. Then we hear all of a sudden Christopher Eccleston is coming back to do Big Finish, right? Big announcement. Tom Baker then is doing more animations. They're announced as well, right? Look what they've harped back to. They went back to the era of Doctor Who, and the classic version of it, because that's where all the money is to be made, because the current era obviously hasn't. But I said it during that stream, and I knew what they're basically doing is they're just using the audio tracks now, and they're just animating it. And as Ballstreck said 15 years ago, obviously it would have been far more expensive. It's a lot more cheaper, but it's even cheaper again if you outsource it even further to a different company instead of doing it in-house, right? It'll still have the BBC Studios logo on it, but it's being outsourced, right? So it's cheaper, right? And then they release it. That's it, done. They don't even give a shit about quality control because they know that fans will buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll start the cycle all over again then with new technology. And then the cycle will
Get you to buy it again. Woohoo.
Yeah, exactly. But Charlotte, go on, you've been trying to say something the last couple of minutes. Go ahead.
now all I'm going to say is, and guys, it's the 60th in a couple of years. If you
Yeah.
think they're bad now for relying on classic, you wait until the 60th. I know we'll be in Russell era mode then, so they will be able to rely back on the current series in production.
Yeah.
But they're gonna go back. If you think it's bad now, I think we're gonna get even more announcements for the 60th when it comes to animations. I
Yeah.
think we're gonna get some collections announced that previously.
Oh, yeah. Russell will use the 60th to make sure he gets the most out of the classic.
Oh yeah.
Even his own stuff as well. Don't be surprised if he starts vlogging his own stuff as well, his own area, his forced area. I'm telling you, there'll be a huge boost in sales. There will be when Russell's there. There'll be no doubt. That's why they've decided to bring him back, because licensees now are going to be happy because they know they're going to make money under this man, whereas they haven't for the last few years. And then they've relied on the classic era to try dig them out of a hole. But it doesn't matter how many animations you roll out, it's still not going to help the whole financial situation. Like, this era has crippled basically BBC.
Yeah, and also the fact that you've got the current era undermining the era that you're having to rely money-wise on,
Yep.
Yeah.
which is counterproductive. If you're trying to flog, oh, look at this William Hartnell thing, when you've got Roof Doctor running around.
Sure, look at all the toys.
Well, I can tell you for a fact that Warner Brothers, which handles DVD and Blu-ray distribution for the Doctor Who brand in North America, is not happy because they are actually forced to put out the Whittaker content that does not sell. Everybody sends, like, all the retailers end up sending it back, so they print the bare minimum. But they're having to waste money printing this crap because they're they've continued licensing the brand because they make so much off the classic series DVDs and Blu-rays, like a fortune. When they put out the David Tennant full series set for $30 a few years ago, that was to make up for the money that they'd lost on Whitaker's first season. So yeah, they've damaged the thing across the board.
Yeah, well, look at all the B&M releases and all. They're all classic characters, classic doctors, classic companions, right? Even in the Doctor Who magazine, they discontinued the Doctor Who cartoon strip because it featured Miss Whitaker's Doctor, and it wasn't going down a treat. And then they start putting in the old strips into the magazine. Look, the whole thing has certainly damaged it financially. The show needs to get its credibility back as well, because it's an utter joke commercially. So, bringing RTD in is a smart bit of business, because look how successful and popular it was globally, but also commercially. So, can he repeat the same trick twice? Well, only time will tell. 60th will be the timeless thread tie up. No, it won't, because Chris Chibnall leads the centenary episode, and the 60th anniversary is something completely different. So it won't be the end. The timeless child will not be part of the 60th. You don't have to. You trust me.
Yeah,
on
he'll
that.
be gone by then. And
It's the centenary. Go ahead, Bob.
No, I'm being a Sally Miss Pants here. No, go ahead, Noel.
I was just saying, the centenary is where Chris Chibnall is gone. Everybody, for some reason, thinks that he's actually sticking around for the 60th. He's not. 60th is where RTD takes over. He's gone the centenary. So, and anyway, I think the timeless child nonsense is going to actually be tied up in a 60-second scene of the last episode of the
Yeah, that's what we're all guessing.
That's my prediction.
So that was Lee's prediction originally. That's what's probably going to happen. And then the specials will be, obviously, the first one we know, Davros apparently is supposed to return. So we'll see if that actually happens. And then he's got another special then, probably around Easter time. And then he has the centenary. And I reckon there'll be three different stories, separate stories. I think he'll end.
But I don't know if you've seen, though, but they've done some promotion pictures already, which I find a bit weird for New Year. And it looks like maybe, though, the TARDIS storyline is going to be carried over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got to get rid of the police box for RTD.
So it looks like at least that one.
RTD's not dumb. He'll put it back as a police box. Something else for a couple episodes.
Yeah, I've seen the leaked photographs. Very, very interesting to see that Jodie Whittaker's Doctor was in a completely different costume. Wasn't in her normal Doctor Who.
It's the same costume, isn't it? They've just changed the top.
Are you sure? Because it looked like it was an all black costume. I think he still has short trousers, which looks ridiculous. But,
those culottes.
I don't know what. Well, listen, I've had this super chat up a while. I didn't read it out. But Digby Strawbridge, it's £10 super chat, and he just says, "Sorry, can't join you, fine folks, this evening. So jealous of you watching Classic Who. Need something to wash away the taste of Chibnall." I agree with that one. And don't worry, we'll always have Classic Who anyway, and some of the new Who run. Just block this out. Just pretend that this was a distant memory and a bad dream. And
favorite dream.
One question that you had, Noel, is Fraley 1974 said, "How did they lose the master tapes?" Well, put very simply, as quickly as I can. Early on, they were wiped because tapes were expensive and they wanted to use them for other things and didn't see any value in the future. And then later on, because they were complete idiots, they actually started incinerating master tapes because they couldn't be bothered to store them. I'm not making that up. That's actually what happened. And the only reason that more wasn't destroyed is Ian Levine and Sue Malden. on touring the facility, saw a bunch of master tapes, one being all parts of the Daleks that were supposed to be incinerated, like literally sitting next to the incinerator to be incinerated that day. So that's what happened.
Crazy. Mm.
And he basically jumped in a skip and saved them all. So
Yeah.
it's thanks to him, and he gets some stick in the fan because obviously.
I think no, it's as much stick as you give him, and I think a lot of he's like me. He's very opinionated. I think a lot of what a lot of what he's gotten over the years is completely unwarranted.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry,
Yeah.
like you can't undo what he did. I'm like, if he hadn't been there, we could have lost all of the Troughton and Hartnell era. And the only reason we have complete Pertwee is because they'd all been sold to PBS and TV Ontario by that point. But no, if he hadn't been there, you may have nothing left of the first two dogs
Exactly.
than what may have been discovered years on.
That's
All the
the
masters
thing.
would have been gone. And the other versions of the Dalek story has never been recovered elsewhere. So that one we know for a fact would have been gone.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, think about a world without Hartnell and Troughton's Doctor, and all we hear is just stories, right? We've never seen any of these stories. That's how bad.
You'd only have the audio. That's the only
You'd
thing.
only basically have the audio. That's it. You'd never have to see these on screen. So I mean, again, we have a lot of people to thank for that. And someone made the point. It doesn't matter if they find copies of stuff now. Most of the film is probably rotted now at this stage, and probably some of them are going to be, unfortunately, never found, and that's just a sad reality. Whether fans will be happy with the animations is another thing. But look, as the technology moves on, they'll think of different ways of doing them, and us like suckers, if we're still around when the technology changes yet again, we'll probably go out and buy all of these. That's just the way we are. But you never know. We might get to a stage where they actually give a shit about what they're putting out, and there's actually a lot of care of attention. That's what Doctor Who needs right now. This next era, a lot of care and attention. And if it gets that, we're halfway there.
See, I think it will have to, because Russell and Julie and everybody at Bad Wolf, they're sticking their necks out. Some people might think, oh, it'd be easy for them just to waltz back. No, it won't be. This is their professional credibility. If they get this wrong, they'll be known as the people who failed to save this show.
Yeah.
Or that couldn't bring it back after what Chibnall's done.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I don't think that would sit well with them. And that's what I believe when they come in, they'll take this seriously. They'll do Doctor Who the way they want to do it, but at the same time, I don't think they will alienate the fans.
They can't afford to.
They can't, which is true. That's a true statement. But also bringing in the British public, make the British public fall in love with Doctor Who all over again. It's become, it's actually sad.
It's gone from a national institution to a national embarrassment.
Joke. It's gone back to what it was in the 80s, which some would argue that they do like the 80s there, which is fair.
Oh.
I was no gone. I know, I was just muted. But that was myself.
He's retired for the day.
Yeah.
I thought it was my internet that cut off there.
Your audio is not working, mate.
Oh dear me.
I'll answer Peter's question. So Pete Harrington says Bullstruck in Arabic, the Daleks, I think. No, it was in English. 16 mil was a telerecording, so not the original master. And I just looked it up. It was another copy of episode 5 was discovered in 2004 in a private collection. But other than that, the other ones have never been found.
Well, you never know. What, Charlotte? Sorry.
Oh, you're back now. Your mic just went a minute ago. That's what.
You disappeared, dude. So I took over because I'm bossy. No, I'm just.
Okay.
I answered a question for you.
All right, now, yeah, the internet sign came up on me StreamYard, so obviously it was trying to compensate. So there must be the internet is acting very peculiar. But anyway,
That's what happens when you have a Windows.
oh, you be quiet.
He
You.
doesn't have Windows. He has a Chromebook.
Same.
What I was gonna say, what was I
Hey,
gonna
oh no, I'm not going to get into this argument. Okay, carry on.
Yes, anyway, what we're going to do is obviously we'll do the next 3 parts next week, but what I'll do is we're not obviously going to rate it this week. I'm not going to ask them to rate the first 3 episodes. That would be stupid. But if you guys, if you were paying attention, because we did talk about other stuff.
No, I didn't pause it this time.
But if you want to give a brief rundown of what you're obviously seeing tonight and how you feel about the story so far, and we leave it there. And while we're doing that, if one of me mods could throw in all the channels, please, in the chat there, that would be absolutely fantastic. So we'll start with you, Queen Charlotte. So 3 episodes.
Okay.
How you feeling?
I'm going to be honest. I thought we were watching the bug episode, and we'd already watched the bug episode, so I need to watch the whole thing next week.
Okay.
So I can't comment, basically. I was like, oh, the Sensorites, that's the big bug thing. We've watched that.
Right, so you are watching the wrong one.
Well, no, I've not watched any of them so far, because I thought we were doing the big bug episode, as I know it as in my head.
All right, fair enough. That's fair enough. Real Super Doctor.
Well, it starts off quite interesting. It starts off from the previous adventure that it seems to be that it's like a spaceship under siege. And it's the Doctor, Ian, Susan, and Barbara find out that there's 2 unconscious pilots, Carol and forget the other one's name, but the other one name's John is in the back. He's locked away in the back, and they find out that they're actually prisoners inside their spaceship, and they find that the Sensorites is actually the ones that's keeping them prisoner in there. And it's the sense sphere is which the Sensorites occupy is like an exclusion zone around the planet, which nothing can get in and nothing can get out. And the Sensorites appear to be this kind of hostile race, and it finds out that they're not quite as hostile when they come on board and that, and they use their means of communication is through telepathy. And John is completely I think he's completely psychotic and disorientated because of the voices in his head, because of the telepathic commands of the Sensorites have been given him. And it's interesting that Susan can actually channel into the Sensorites as well and hear what the Sensorites have to say as well. And you get good performances from William Hartnell. Jacqueline Hill was very supportive, and William Russell as well. So the episode is a bit kind of an episode that kind of drags on for I think it's a 6-episode series for this one, and it does get interesting as it goes along. I mean, when we find out the Sensorites are there's enemies in this among the Sensorites that's out to cause trouble in that, and they polluted their aqueducts with deadly nightshade, and the First Doctor discovers that later on. But what's interesting is we find out that the aliens can actually remove the TARDIS lock. They can actually take an advanced spaceship such as the TARDIS and remove the lock. And in future episodes, we don't see we don't see that any alien can actually penetrate the TARDIS and open the lock.
Well, no, anyone can waltz in, but you know.
Yeah, I know it's a bit silly. And sometimes the Doctor doesn't lock the TARDIS, and it's just a wide open for anybody to get into. But
Looking at you,
that-
Peter Davison.
yeah, the acting's quite good in the first 2 episodes. You can see that there is drama there, and they're using the best to their abilities, and the very little that they can actually work with. It's when the Doctor and Susan and Barbara arrive on the scene. I mean, they're completely questioning exactly what's going on, and when they find the 2 occupants, they thought that they were dead, and there was nothing else they could do. So when they decided to kind of go back to the TARDIS and the distraction, one of them just moved kind of forward and communicated with Ian and told him to get a heart resuscitator, and Susan backs off and takes. I think it's just mostly Ian that takes charge in that, but it's not great, but it's not a bad Doctor Who story.
Yeah. Lee.
The Sensorites look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Look, if you have to be honest, and I have to be honest myself, I agree with you. Other than that, the reason why I found myself talking about other stuff is this is just not. I just find it a bore.
Yeah.
Some of the scenes are just too long. But again, that's not a reflection on the acting in this.
No.
As they said, the acting is actually very good. It's just the story is a bit. I suppose the 4th season, obviously you knew who were used to big spectacular endings to our season, so this was a different time, but it still felt a bit flat for the Series 1 wrap up. But look, we'll see how the next 3 episodes go. But I found myself getting bored very quickly. That's the thing with this story. And I know Ballstrek will obviously have a different point of view on that. But Ballstrek...
Oh, no. It's nostalgic, but this story is dull as ass. This is this. I'm sorry, Nolda. Yeah, I agree with you. This is just bad. Very, very boring.
Do you know what you should do? You should do a Jodie Whittaker style review of this episode and do it in the way you would do it nowadays and review that story.
I don't think that's
no, because there's you see, Noel, for Whittaker, there's like natural anger behind it.
Right.
I don't hate the Hartnell era. I don't hate anybody involved with it. I just hate the story. The passion and anger just wouldn't be there. I'm not saying the era is bad. Like every show has terrible seasons. So I'll say that this was it was a misstep in an otherwise awesome era of Doctor Who. And it's not as bad as the Web Planet or Planet of Giants.
That's true.
Right, I'm just checking something out here real quick.
Oh, don't mind us.
I just wanted to. Sorry, I just wanted to see what the 1st episode of Series 2 is, because I left the site that I was on, and it's coming up Bleeding David Tennant's.
I'm trying to remember because I do look. I'm trying to think what...
Let me see. No, why does it keep coming up David Tennant's one? Like, there was Doctors before, like, you know, David Tennant. No, don't get me wrong. I like the modern Doctors, right?
I'm just laughing because if you ask certain people, that the answer is no to what you just said.
Like you literally have to put in William Hartnell. I shouldn't have to. If I put it in, right, series 2, it should show William Hartnell's and not fucking David Tennant's. Like how fucking
It depends. The technical listing is the new Who is listed as series, old Who is listed as season.
yeah. Right, well here it is. So the first episode. Oh, we'll be doing no. Actually, yeah, it's Planet of Giants. So that'll be 2 weeks' time.
Okay, I may have to go. Take Lexi for a walk that day. Other than Delta and the Bannerman, it's the only other DVD in my collection that I didn't watch for like 10 years because I kept falling asleep.
Actually, there's some good episode. There's some good stories in this season. We got the Dalek invasion of Earth, the rescue, the Romans, the Web Planet, the Crusade, the Space Museum, the Chase, which is a bit of a weird one, isn't it? And the Time Meddler. Yeah. I don't know if all of those stories are available. I forget.
Well, is the Romans not available? Am I wrong?
Or is it the Crusade? Or do I keep getting mixed up between the two?
No, Romans is available.
Right, so the Romans is available, so it's not the Crusade, isn't it? Not? Is it?
Sorry, which one is that, Noel?
The Crusade.
Oh, the Crusade is lost.
Telesnaps, I think.
Yeah, the Crusade episodes 2 and 4. Yes, there's two missing. There's 2 missing from the Crusade, so we'll be skipping that story, obviously, unless you want to do the telly snaps. So I don't know. We didn't do it.
Well, they might be hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, so we'll skip that one then, obviously.
Well, I'll tell you what's available on BritBox, and that might be a help for those who just have BritBox.
The Crusade. Well, you have 2 episodes.
Well, you got Planet of Giants. You got Dalek Invasion of Earth.
Well, wait,
you got the Rescue. You got the Romans. You got the Web Planet. The Space Museum. The Chase and the Time Meddler.
Yeah,
so that's what you got for season 2 on BritBox.
Yeah. So you don't have the Crusade. Yeah. So.
On BritBox, because I don't have it. They didn't add any of the Lost in Time stories on there. Just complete stories.
Just the complete stories and some of the animations. Yeah.
Yes, the Crusade. There's 2 existing episodes we could watch, but not if we can't get a hold of them. Yeah, like they're on the Lost in Time set, but yeah, unless you got that, no.
Yeah, I think it's a case of what's going to be easiest for people to access.
And that's not going to be an easy one to get a hold of.
And that's what we try to do. We just make sure to involve everybody that we can with these watch-alongs. So, again, there are ways, I will say, of finding certain stuff.
Yeah, I remember getting the Crusade in a box set, and it had a video, and it had a CD of the missing episodes, and it had a TARDIS keyring in it, and that was a part of the Hartnell collection.
That was a big deal. They found that one in 1999.
Yeah,
and it was the only single episode they'd found in a few years. So even though it wasn't complete, because they're like, "Oh my God, we actually found another episode." I remember them making a huge deal when it came out, even though only half of a very mediocre story had been found.
Yeah, but that's always the Puller had. Even if it was mediocre, fans still just wanted it found, so they'd have the complete version, and that just goes to show you how well loved this show actually was. And I'm saying was because it isn't anymore, and that's the sad reality of the situation. It makes me sad, but there you go. But Charlotte was going to say something there. Go ahead, Charlotte.
No, I was just saying it always seemed to be big historicals with William, wasn't it? That they seemed to suffer, seemed to be the ones they lost.
Yeah. Which is probably not a bad thing, really. But
everybody hated them. Maybe it was done on purpose.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe it was, man. Yeah, we'll never know. We'll never know. That's the thing. But look, Yeah, so next week we finish this story, and then the week after that, obviously, we start off with Planet of Giants, and Ballstreck will be off walking Lexi that week.
I may stop in, but Noel, I can't promise I won't get distracted during that episode by literally the paint on my wall.
Well, do you know what? If we get distracted, come anyway. We'll have the Sony Panasonic debate again if we have to.
We've got two debates going on right now, Noel. We've got Sony versus Panasonic and Apple versus Windows.
Yeah. But the Apples and Windows one is not really that vicious as the last one.
No.
You know, I feel we need to have a third one in there to just kind of spice it up a little bit.
Okay.
We'll think of something to argue about in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, you don't need to think of something to argue. You guys will find something on the street. Actually.
Well,
it's a thing.
Actually, we will, because this series will be over, and we'll probably be either in shock because he's done something even.
I haven't even seen last week's episode yet. I don't want to. I'm going to force myself to watch that and whatever piece of excrement comes out tomorrow. And I'm going to put together a video that covers two of them. I did kind of alter because I said I was going to review. I'm still reviewing every episode, but thankfully I was very busy this week and didn't have the time to do it. And I wasn't really that disappointed about it.
Well,
yeah, I'll do a episode. People are already commenting. I'm like, oh, Bullstruck didn't review the latest good episode. I'm like, no, Bullstruck is busy, and Bullstruck didn't want to do it, but I will do a double thrashing.
Well, in fairness, it was a mixed panel last week for that episode. Myself and Charlotte had issues. Let's just stay with it. There was other people on the panel that actually enjoyed it. But you know, all I'll say is, go and watch it yourself and make up your own mind. It's certainly a story or an episode that has divided fans. You're either in the camp you love it or you hate it. There doesn't seem to be an in between actually with this one. It's either people like it or people dislike it. Myself and Charlotte obviously didn't like it, so we disliked it. And there was people on the panel that actually enjoyed the story, which is fair enough.
Each their own.
That's okay. You can like Lee. No, I literally I don't have the effort right now. Why would?
Oh, for God's sake, Lee! Why? You just have to. Do you know what you're like? You're like that nosy little owl one that has to get the last word in no matter what bloody happens.
Oh, here we go. Now,
it's Howard the Duck. That's an insult to me, not really to Lee. So what you?
I don't have this because I can only have so many avatars, and I guess I shouldn't have deleted the Sony one because now I got to bring it back.
That's funny. I deleted the
Panasonic from like a year ago.
Apple, here we go again, right? Anyway, Lee,
shit in the bag.
Oh, remember her? Oh, she makes an appearance this year. Yay!
Shit in a bag.
That is still by far
lobster.
That is disgusting.
That I've ever seen on Twitter. I don't care. Anybody gets that emotional about having the shit in a bag when there's
also a lot of shit
in country
a lot of
that
shit
don't have toilets and literally have to shit out in the open is beyond me. You pampered little twat. At the end of the day, you have a fucking toilet to sit your ass on. There's countries out there where they don't have that privilege, that comfort. So I don't know where she gets off. Is she still? I wonder where she's gone. She's probably gone underground after that fucking video.
The internet never forgets, and she will, for the rest of her life, be known as the girl in the soup that shit in a bag.
Could you imagine if you're the boyfriend or girlfriend? Because I don't know whether she likes men or women.
Here's
Could you imagine if her partner, whoever she's with, and that went viral, you'd be ashamed to be around them?
No, it'd be worse if you were a family member. Imagine if she was your sister.
Yeah. Oh man, I wouldn't be able to. I'd be like, no.
I've seen a video of someone in London filming some woman doing a shit in a telephone box.
Yeah, I've
Shitting
seen
that television.
That's normal in San Francisco.
I've seen that video as well, and I'm like, what the fuck? They're not even like finding a lane way to go down. Like, you're just gonna do it in a phone box, like no
And then
wonder
she's wiping her arse as well.
Oh,
Oh
don't
my
tell
God.
us the details.
Yeah, you did
TMI.
too much
TMI.
detail, man. Too
Yeah.
There was one video at a Tim Hortons, which we had them all over Canada, of a crackhead that I think it was in British Columbia. Crackhead comes in. It was and had to use the bathroom, but apparently this individual who may have some addiction issues also looks like your typical crack lady. She had to use the bathroom, and they're like, "No, you're not going to use the bathroom because we know what you did the last time you're in the bathroom." Then she yells, and they get mad. So then she's like, "Okay," so right in front of the Tim Hortons counter does her business, and it got all over the place. And I had the misfortune of discovering that video.
There's one actually in Dublin of a heroin addict, and he's obviously out with his face, but he's walking, and someone puts the soundtrack to Michael Jackson's Thriller in the background, and it just seriously, man, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Myself with a $10 Australian super chat says, "I hope for the best." And then he sent it a second time. I don't know if that was a mistake, but the same super chat again, saying the same thing. So I don't know if that was actually a mistake, but I appreciate the super chats. Yeah, we all hope for the best at this stage, but look, we have to just basically get with reality, right? This is Chris Chibnall. Lee was right all along. This is going to be a 60-second fucking scene where he explains everything and expects us to lap it all up and buy it. And it's not going to work because he's got so many threads that he's inserted in, and he has to try find a way of getting all those done. And he's not going to be able
But
to.
no, the most important thing should happen on Sunday. We should finally get a resolution to Tunnel Guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to. I forgot. I don't care.
Damn, it's so fucking obvious. But the thing about it is, he hasn't laid the proper threads there. But you can see, this is the thing. It's so dumb. You can actually figure this shit out. Obviously, if he's from Liverpool, he dug the tunnels. Dan seems to be special for some weird reason. Well, then it wouldn't be hard to figure out. Then they're probably related in some manner, some great bloody grandparent or some shit like that. I don't know, man. But that's how bleeding obvious this man is. I told you, man, I predicted stuff already. I told you there'd be a bit of a fucking curveball, right? I was right. This is what he does. Chris Chibnall is man of habit. He's already done one curveball. There's another one to come somewhere. And
it'll be in episode 6.
Yeah, right. And it'll either be he's retconned the timeless child nonsense, or he has doubled down, right? And we won't find out until the last night. As Charlotte said, we won't find out until the last night because he'll leave it right to the end. And then we're either going to be satisfied or we're going to be even though some fans out there don't give a shit. When they find out what he does, whatever there is, and if it ends up being worse, fans are going to be obviously upset. Even those fans that don't care anymore, they will be upset, and they'll have every right to be, because, again, read the fucking audience, Chibnall. Everybody has told you how they feel about your era. Ratings are down, no matter how much people spin it. Ratings is down. Merchandise, licensees have suffered. Read the fucking room, man. Right? You don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to figure this out. I keep saying this. I keep using that saying, but it's true. You don't need to be some sort of fucking genius to understand that after Series 11, you got it so wrong that you needed to change it up. And in fairness to you, you did try, but the problem was you still wrote crap.
I would like to quote how hard Chibs tried to fix things. Oh, by the way, I'm Chibs right now. So some people are saying, "Oh yeah, no, it's going to be better." opinion, of course, but I would say no. And he's going to turn down the politics. To quote, "Men like you make me wonder why I helped this planet."
Yeah, that's what she said.
I
to the
thought that
general.
line was bang out of order. I'm not going to lie. But if you compare it to Series 11 and 12, he has actually toned it down, but it's still there. I'm not going to lie that it's not still there.
It's
No,
still there.
he's
He has the punch in the face moment now.
Well, no,
Yeah.
he's just more sneaky. That's all he's done.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a bit more
fair
sneaky
enough,
this
you can put it
series.
that way. Yeah, he is being more sneaky about it. But, you know, he's writing as an improvement on the last two seasons. But again, it's still 5 years too late. I mean, if you had started like this, as I've said about this series in particular, what it is it's inconsistent. It looks like it was edited by someone that was a junior, because some of the scenes, especially where you haven't watched the Weeping Angel story, so I can't really.
Don't tell him anything.
But watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. The thing about it is that you can tell that there are problems behind the scenes, definitely. But
really, they seem so mentally stable.
Look, that's been going on since Series 11. But is this an improvement on what he's given us the last few years, including the festive specials? I would have to say, yeah, but it's still shit.
Yeah,
It's
but
still
no. If it's an improvement in some ways, I'm not going to deny that. But if I think the serialized method is really weakening this series. Because he's using it as an excuse to just randomly put a character in one episode, and then he's just like going, "Oh, it's all right. I'll explain who this
I
is."
agree, but that kind of, yeah, but see, this is the thing that disappoints me about it, is the fact that this was playing to Chris Chibnall's strengths. Serialization is where he actually does his best work, and you know, maybe if he had went with that formula from day one, we might. I'm just saying we might have seen an improvement, but I doubt it highly. But the thing about it is, he was playing to his strengths here, right? And even in some episodes, it seemed like he was playing to Jodie Whittaker's strengths, but then she'd revert back to.
Then we realised she doesn't have any.
Exactly. Yeah. So the thing about it is, what's let him down is the simple fact of the matter is, Andrew Cartmel said it. Bottom line is that when it comes to sci-fi, Chris Chibnall is not the right choice to head a show as big as Doctor Who, and it's short.
Mm-hmm.
It's like getting a happy kindergarten teacher to lead an army into war.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing: what kind of annoys me more than anything else. Yes, he's disrespected it. Yeah, and she said things that she shouldn't have. But the thing that pisses me off the most is how stupid he's made the show, how stupid and incompetent he's made his own female doctor that was supposed to be this strong feminist character, right? Which I disagreed. He shouldn't have went down that route. But if you look at all the rhetoric leading up to Series 11 and the breaking of the glass ceiling, that's what everybody thought they were getting. But people quickly found out that his doctor was stupid, and she still continues to be stupid. Like, and that's the one thing. The doctor's supposed to be ahead of the curve. He's always 3 or 4 steps ahead. Even if sometimes he does get into situations where he hasn't quite figured it out, and he realizes then it is a trap, he finds a way of getting out of it. Then as soon as he knows, he's always thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. Well, how can I get out of this trap now? Whereas you I mean, look, that's what I mean. This show, right, is so dumbed down for an audience that I just can't comprehend, to be quite honest. Right, this show could go on CBBS, right, and maybe 3 or 4 year olds would lap this up and think it's great.
No,
but I'm
they're
an
too
adult,
smart
right?
for
And
it.
Doctor Who is multi-generational, right? It's multi-generational. It has fans from every generation. That's what makes it unique, just like Star Trek, just like Star Wars, right? And they keep pandering to these little twats, right, that are not even many. They're just few, and pander to them, and then forget about the people that actually made the show a success in the first place. It just you know what? I just hope RTD can bring back some respectability and
Yeah, I
give.
just worry that people are now just putting all their eggs in this basket that RTD is going to fix everything.
I agree.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
I am doing that. I agree, and I'll hold my hand up and say I am, because if you
Yeah,
look,
well, you always
at
got
what
me to
we've got
pee
in the
on your
last 5
parade.
years, I need to believe that. I need to believe that there's hope out there. That someone
Well,
can.
that's how demoralization works. Yeah, it really does.
Right, but he could hit the ground running again. He could give us a second goal in
Well, he
there.
better. He has got no
At the
choice.
same time, I understand that it could go the other way. I do know that. I'm not pretending or block
I
that.
know that. Yeah.
I do know that it could go the other way. But right now, I think this is a smart move. Bad Wolf Productions, as you said, Lee, have put out some great content. So I do. With that even said, I have the confidence that it'll be
I
better.
hope they rein him in. I hope they rein in his worst aspects. You know,
It'll be
really.
better than what Chris Chibnall gave us. The big question will be asked by the fans: is it better than what Stephen Moffat gave us? And more importantly, will it be better what he gave us the first time round? Right? It has to be. And I want to see he's more mature now. Obviously, he has a few more years of writing under his belt. I want to see Doctor Who mature now under him. You know, if he goes back to the same old tropes that he did for 2004, it's not going to work. He has
Fighting
to bring,
aliens.
he has to bring,
Yeah.
he has to bring something new to the table. You know, because if he thinks that by giving us member berries and going back is going to win fans over, I'm sorry, even for me, that'll be lazy. I want to see something new from him. I want to see something different. Like Chris Chibnall tried to do something different, it didn't work. But under RTD, with the experience that he's had with Doctor Who, the fact that he is a fan and he understands characters that he develops, I do truly believe that he can give us something different. But it has to be different than what he gave us before. And the thing about it is, Doctor Who does need to move on and need to grow. And I think he's the man that can do it. And I think he can do it in a way that will be respectful to the show itself, his predecessors, and obviously respectful to the fans. And while respecting the fans, encouraging the British public to fall in love with Doctor Who again. I reckon he'll be on, as soon as announcements are made, he's going to be on the charm offensive.
Oh God, yeah, this is Russell. He'll do every interview going. He'll go to every paper. He loves that stuff.
Yeah, he loves talking about it. That's his biggest downfall. Sometimes he used to let things slip as well. But even in interviews where you think he wasn't giving that away, if you read some of the things and the quotes that he's made, you realize that he's actually, you know, he's a very clever man. He knows what he's doing. Look, I will say, Lee is right. I'm caught up in the trap that I have put all my eggs into one basket and believe that RTD can actually save this show. But I do have it in the back of my head. Don't you guys worry. I still have that part of me saying, well, this could still be bad. It could even be worse than what Chris Chibnall gave us. And I still have that in the back of my mind because it is a possibility. But going by his previous work on Doctor Who and how he charmed the audience back in 2005 and went on the charm offensive.
I don't think it can be worse than Chibnall.
No.
I don't.
No chance.
But it must be intelligent. It must be. I want those complex characters as well, right? I think this is another thing as well that annoys me about current Who, right? Is that the characters are two-dimensional. Like you can see through them. There's they have no other. They're not complex in any way. They're just simple written characters, and like he gives them a backstory by them narrating themselves and filling in the gaps. So I don't want to see any of that shit anymore. RTD was very good at building characters, and that's what I want to see as well. And hopefully he hires based on talent. This is the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans, we don't know enough yet to really call what Russell can do, and I think that 14th Doctor announcement, we've said this quite a few
That will
times.
be the first, indication. I agree with you, and it'll sway a lot of fans.
It will.
It'll sway a lot of fans whether they're going to give him a chance or not. The Doctor announcement is going to be one of the most important announcements. Now, if current rumors are to be true, the ones that Marty found on Reddit. Now, as you know, yourselves, when it comes to Reddit, I kind of don't rate them highly for source or leaked information anymore. But very interestingly, they did say that from February onwards, there will be announcements made on what's coming in the RTD era. Now, whether that's the casting, they're going to introduce the new Doctor in February. Now, I've always said and maintained on this channel that no announcement will be made this side of this year. That was always going to be next year. And I do believe that is...
What about a Christmas?
Yeah, it's logical anyway. It's logical anyway if you look at it.
Well, if you think about her specials, we've got New Year, then we've got 2 more.
Yeah, and we don't know when he's releasing. This is the thing. We don't know when he's actually releasing the one that's in between the centenary and the New Year special. For all we know, it could be a week later and he just drops it. And then we wait then till the centenary then for his very last episode.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think once we know when those 3 specials are airing, that's when you can almost plot when we could get a 14th Doctor announcement. I'm saying could.
I reckon they'll want to get it out this ASAP, and I'll tell you why. Even though there will be 2 specials to go, look, logically, I'm thinking around Easter time, you'll probably do an RTD and put 1 episode Easter, and then we wait then the centenary. We know the date of the centenary, so that's happening on that. That's October, isn't it? The BBC 100-year centenary.
Yeah, but all we know is it's that it's tying into the centenary.
Yeah.
So it might not be exactly on the centenary.
Well, which is a fair point to make, but let's just assume it is, right? And that date is the last date that Chibnall is done. Sure, they could announce the 14th Doctor before then and not announce anything else, maybe announce the companion a few weeks later. And then, obviously, then the next couple of months, then we start seeing the design of the TARDIS. Well, unless it gets leaked, of course, or unless RTD wants to show us. But he will give us snippets because he'll want us to get, he'll want us to get excited. See, this will be the difference. You will see the difference now. Series 11, right? I never seen the show promoted so much or a Doctor promoted so much, right? We all said it at the time. She was all over everything, right? That ceased to exist after Series 11. Series 12, there was hardly any promotion. Series 13, same trick again. I'm telling you, the levels of promotion, I reckon Jordan RTD's run for however long he's going to be there for. And remember, he starts off with the 60th. I'm telling you, man, the promotion for this is going to be off the charts. It's going to be off.
It's going to have to be, really.
Yeah.
Everything's riding on
this.
this.
It'll be off the charts. And I tell you, even though, I still do fear for the future of the show. I'm not going to lie. But I am looking forward to the 60th because it is written by RTD, because we got the 50th by Moffat. And I always thought that RTD should have come back and co-wrote the 50th with Stephen Moffat, but obviously that didn't happen, right? So this is why I want him to do the 60th, because I was kind of thinking the other day, could you imagine if the 50th, right, if it was exactly the same story, but it was actually written by RTD. He would have, because that episode, that 50th is very sloppy in my opinion. But he would have tidied
Yeah.
that up, and it would have been a fair better watch, in my opinion. Now, I've softened over the years with the 50th anniversary, right? I have. I enjoy it a lot more than I did. Now,
Well, everything looks better after the
yeah, when I went to the
lens.
cinema, my brothers actually got me. My brothers actually got me tickets to go, and they came with me, which was great because they used to mock me originally for watching Doctor Who. Because as I told you, Doctor Who was always perceived to be cheap and stuff like that. And I moved out, and for whatever reason, they decided to watch Christopher Eccleston, right? So I think by that time, David Tennant was actually just on his last
Well,
series.
Chibnall made Doctor Who cool again, for a whole new generation.
So, but here was the thing.
You weren't afraid to say you were a Whovian and then get beaten up for it like you were in the 80s.
After David Tennant's series ended, and obviously we were going in, then I'd moved back home, and the Matt Smith era was about to begin. But what they did is actually, in the time that they were watching the new Who episodes, they actually went back to the very start of the William Hartnell, watched all the telly snaps, the reconstructions as well, but watched every single story all the way up to, obviously, Paul McGann, the movie, and caught up. And it was actually weird having conversations with them because they knew exactly what they were fucking talking about, and then they would bring up something, and then they hark back to a story that you are watching, and they link stuff up, and I was like, Jesus, man, they
what have you done with my family?
Yeah, they mocked me for watching Doctor Who, and now they became fans.
Well,
So
I hope you lorded that over them and say, "See, I told you."
yeah, now obviously, Matt Smith's era for me originally. I did like his first series, but the second series kind of left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, and I wasn't looking forward to it as much. So I'd be sitting there watching the episode, but I'd be half-assed watching the episode kind of thing. I'd lose interest very quickly. And I was, even back then, I was like, oh, can RTD just come back? Man, it's not the same. It's not. And look, yeah, there's a bit of nostalgia there that he's coming back. I just hope, because I will say this, I'll make this. This is a fair point to make. I think everybody will agree with me with this. But when Ridley Scott came back, right, to do the Alien franchise again, we all got nostalgic and thought, yeah, this is
And
great.
then we saw the results.
And then we saw what happened, and it wasn't great, right? And then everybody then was thinking about the Neil Blomkamp movie that he was going to do, and he was going to bring Ripley and Hicks back, and then we were pouting for that, right? So sometimes
careful what you wish
always,
for.
yeah, it's not always good to wish for something. But look. He's wrote 2 hit shows. Well, he's wrote a lot of hit shows, but recently he's won awards for the recent hit shows that he's done. He's on a high. He doesn't need Doctor Who. As Charlotte actually rightly pointed out, they're coming back. They're not going to have it easy. Their reputations are on the line in a way, because look what they produced in 2005. Can you recapture light in a bottle a second time round? And this is why I have the optimism. I don't think he would come back and risk all of that and everything he's achieved to ruin his own legacy. I don't, and this is why I don't believe he will carry on the Chris Chibnall plan. I think he'll do his own thing because
he has to.
His reputation, his legacy, but it's also the future of the show that's on the line, in my opinion. And I think he takes that very seriously, and I think he will take it very seriously. Whether he can produce or not now will be the thing, because he has been away from Doctor Who a long time. Can he recapture the magic that he did?
Which we had.
And give us something even extra special? because it will have to be extra special. Look at, he's going to be under lots of pressure himself personally because he'll want to deliver. Because you hear the way he talks about Doctor Who, he's very passionate. I mean, that interview back in 2004 when he made the announcement that Doctor Who was coming back, just look at the smile on his face and the passion and the facial expressions when he's talking about Doctor Who. And he's worried that he won't, he wants to do it. You can tell, right? Even by his language, his body language, that he's hoping that he's got this right, because he knows if he doesn't, then the possibility of Doctor Who being resurrected is done after one series. But nobody expected the Doctor that he gave us. And that scene with Rose, and he holds her hand and he talks about the earth spinning and he can feel it. That was his Doctor speech. And you know what? That was the moment for me when I realised Doctor Who was back.
Yeah.
It was a new version, but I liked it. And he just, from episode to episode, he just got better. Yes, okay, World War III and Aliens of London, we've all said, is absolutely ridiculous, but it was so Russell. This was Russell T, though, And I recently watched that again. I have to say the CGI has aged very badly on it now, but that gives it extra charm now. It gives it extra charm. It kind of makes it feel like classic story, because that's the charm of the classics, the shaky sets and the bad special effects that they were using back then. But the CGI was just terrible, but it was still a high. I enjoyed it. Look, it's not the greatest story. A pig in a space costume and it's kind of like fart aliens. It's not the most intelligent stuff that he's written, but Doctor Who had got that fun element to it. I mean, everybody despises Love and Monsters. For me, I love that episode. It does represent part of what Doctor Who is. It does have those funny moments, and I like that episode just because it doesn't take itself seriously while having all the serious stuff going on. It's nice to have a little bit of a break from all of that and just have an episode that's out there. And I love that. Seriously, I do. I love the music in it. Yeah, the ending is a bit weird. Even watching it back recently, and that line with the two of them saying that they kind of have a sex life, and I was kind of like, that was in 2005.
That's funny.
But I was like, that was in 2005.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? I was like, how did they get away? Oh no, that wasn't 2005. That was 2006. Sorry, because it was David Tennant's Run Love and Monsters. But I just seriously that it's just, you look back and you watch that episode and you're like, Jesus, that was back in 2006. Like they were like a slab friend, and nobody is questioning it. Like it was just, but that's what. But like you could get away with stuff like that back then, and the fandom would have a nice little debate about it. You'd have a laugh, you'd disagree, agree. Everybody would have their opinions. Yeah.
It's not like that now.
No, but look, hopefully he can bring some more. Again, as I said, his job is twofold. Not only has he to produce a great show, somehow, I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's going to have to win back fans that have been disillusioned and rightly so. But he also has to win back the British public, because the ratings prove, especially in the UK, that the British public have fallen out of love with Doctor Who. They always seem to give the first episode a chance, because ratings, compared to the festive special, the ratings were up on the first episode if you compare it to the festive special. So some people did come back and give it a go. So to me, there is still love out there for Doctor Who. It just is a matter of, can RPD do it again? Is he a two? Can he pull it off a second time?
Well, it
I
remains
think-
to be seen, doesn't it?
I think he can. I genuinely think he can because of what's happened recently with the awards and stuff, and his writing apparently is top notch. I'm not going to sit here and say that I've seen every single show he's done since he's left Doctor Who, because that would be a lie. I haven't, but I've been listening to people like Lee, who I trust, and other people out there that have watched his work, that have watched these TV shows, have said he's just stellar, and I believe them. So I have no reason to fear why he wouldn't do the same with Doctor Who. But I see you two guys are having a bit of an online, and I've only paying attention to it right now because I've been sitting here just reminiscing. Sorry about that for nattering on. I hope you have enjoyed it though, because I'm just basically telling you how I feel, really. Because I never lie to you anyway. I tell you, I kind of do wear my heart on my sleeve as well as speaking my mind. But I really do want this show to succeed because, as I said, it's helped me throughout my life. I've even met my wife through it. So, Doctor Who does mean a lot personally to me. So, and I've said this from day one.
Oh, Charlotte left. I'm sorry, I didn't see.
Yeah. But
Like-
you
like
two
that.
guys, if Sony makes bad Spider-Man, I would agree with that. But Sony is actually far superior than Panasonic. Sony Entertainment is not Sony Electronics. There's cultivated media. There's a bit of an debate going on here about computers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the two lads fight backstage. So I'll referee, of course. So we're going to leave it there.
Well, I got to head off soon, but yes, I will just say, just as a final note, if Panasonic was so great, then why did they abandon the TV market in all of North America like a wine? Why? Because they suck. We still have RCA, which sucks, but RCA didn't give up.
That's
Fucking
it.
Panasonic.
That's it.
Yeah,
If Panasonic had smart people working for them, they would have figured out something and come up with something new and innovative, but they didn't. They decided to fold because that's.
Well, they did fold. They just ran away from their largest market.
I'm sorry, Lee, but some of my best moments were with Sony products. So,
yeah, and your bad moments would be like the Panasonic plasma TVs that caught on fire.
Seriously, when I could get a Sony Walkman, when I was old enough to get a Sony Walkman, I always bought Sony Walkmans. Always. I was always a Sony fan. That's why I have a Sony PlayStation. I'm a Sony fan, So I can understand it, but you being a Panasonic fan kind of upsets me a little bit.
It's quality.
Yeah,
No.
quality shit. As Daniel would say, you
Quality.
can't polish a fucking board. But in that case, Panasonic seemed to. Right, we'll leave it there anyway. We'll let this debate roll on. And thank you. Someone says, Peter says, nothing wrong with passion. No, look, at the end of the day, I get called all sorts in this fandom. I'm told I'm not a true fan, right? The reason why I'm on here and I talk about Doctor Who the way I do is because I care and I am passionate and I want the show to be the best version that it can be. And unfortunately, for the last 5 years under this current regime, it hasn't been. But there is some hope for the future because the man that brought it back in the first place and made us fall in love with Doctor Who all over again is coming back now. I will add the caveat that Ridley Scott came back to the Alien franchise, and I was excited because, it was Ridley Scott. I thought, if anybody understands the Alien franchise, it's the man that actually wrote the first movie. Well, it turns out that he's an absolute clown and he doesn't know about his own fucking franchise. And we should have got the movie that he basically stalled. I'm actually bitter about that. If I was actually doing a stream on Ridley Scott, right, it'd be very passionate and I'd be very angry because it's Prometheus I could forgive to a certain extent, right? Because I thought, right, they're trying something new here. And then they give us the cliffhanger at the end, and then we get the abomination that was Alien Covenant. He decided, okay, so this is what it is. It's a whole God complex thing going on in this story. So God creates man, man creates android, android creates alien. I was like, there's the mythos of the xenomorphs gone out the fucking window. Well done, you absolute clown. Nobody needed to know. Why do people think that we want origin stories of all of these franchises? We don't. Just he even made the statement, right, which pissed me right off. It just showed how clueless he was and how going back to past glories is always well, not always, but for him was definitely the wrong thing to do. Listen, mate, bottom line is you're done as a writer and a director. You're done. You're stale. That you went back to past glories because you thought it was the best thing to do. But the statement that he made is that fans are sick of the xenomorph, right? They want something different. No, you misread your audience. The audience loved the xenomorph. That's the whole point of it. Yes, you could delve into a bit of the lore or expand on where it maybe, possibly came from, but to actually show how they were created is just, and even the actors in it, it just looked like they didn't give a shit. Like when each character died, did anybody give a fuck? No. But in Alien, when a character died, we gave a crap. Just didn't care that any of them died in that movie. I couldn't wait for them all to be bleeding dead, to be quite honest with you. I was that pissed off. And I'm still bitter over that movie. That franchise, yes, look, Resurrection was a shit show. Even Alien 3 wasn't what David Fincher wanted. Isn't that his name? It's not what he wanted. The studio muddled with that. But it was still a decent enough movie. I still give that one. I count it as a trilogy. I kind of exclude Resurrection. But Alien and Aliens were just two masterpieces. Right, one was the first one, as we know. I call it sci-fi horror. It was a proper sci-fi horror, atmospheric. It was brilliantly written, brilliantly directed. And then we got Aliens, which was a bit more action-based, but it still had that horror element in it, and it worked, right? And then you get this idiot coming back thinking, oh, I've done Blade Runner, so I'll do Alien now because, everybody liked Blade Runner. Then he comes back then and he ruins it. I'll never forgive a man for that. That pissed me off. No, seriously did. I know I'll probably take it too seriously, but it really pissed me off. It was the one franchise that I thought, okay, it's had two dodgy movies since the second one. But maybe he can bring back some respectability. But he made it worse. And now the studio has decided that, well, it performed so badly that now they're not even going to do apparently the prequels to all of it. He had sequels and prequels lined up all over the place, actually. It looked like a disjointed mess. Someone actually as I said, there's a YouTuber out there that concentrates on this franchise, and he has the whole chart up where all the movies are. And then he shows all of these future movies that Ridley Scott was planning. And there's literally loads. He was bouncing from team to team, and he was doing different things. Then he was going to do one after Ripley, and then he was going to go back then yet again. It was just a confusing mess. And I was like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He either doesn't know what he's doing, or he didn't have the creative control that he thought he was going to have, or something. Because how you got to so badly wrong and misjudged your audience. Like, you can look at, I think the Rocky franchise proves that if you give the audience something new, but within that franchise, it works. I like but Rocky Balboa, right? Rocky 5, hate the movie. It doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. So it's 1, the 2, 3, 4, and Rocky Balboa for me. But now they've kind of expanded that universe now, and we got the Creed movies, right? That's showing how you can move a franchise on to a newer audience, right? But while maintaining the old audience, because it still has the same heart and spirit as the original movies. But they don't think like that, and I don't know. The Ridley Scott thing just pisses me off. Someone just, I don't know who brought that up. Was that me? I shouldn't have brought it up because, like, it does. It's one franchise that because why are you laughing for? Sony for the SJW. Trying to cancel Sony make the film.
What's going on here, eh?
Are you laughing at me, or are you laughing at the fact that you two are just taking the piss out of each other? Are you in the private chat and taking the piss out of each other?
I don't see anything in the private chat taking the pee.
No, dude. Look at our screen names.
All right.
Troy for the SJ. Oh yeah, SJ. Sony is for SJWs to cry over because they can't afford it. You two are literally writing sentences now. Right. See what happened here. I shouldn't have actually brought it up earlier on, but this is what happens.
You brought it up, and then you said, "Okay, I'll discuss it in the background."
I'm gonna fight that corner, but
common.
We've got to the 3-hour mark, which wasn't really the plan, but there you go. But this is what happens when you're having good conversation and stuff. And I had, But look, as I said, we'll be back tomorrow for the watch along. I don't know why I still do it, but I do it anyway. Come and join me for that. And then right after that, we have the panel. And I'm pretty sure because every week, each episode has split the panel in some way or another. It's been a mixed bag. Let's see what's going to happen. I guarantee you something crazy is going to happen and that's going to piss us all off. I just have a funny feeling. And then the last episode, then he's going to compound further misery on us all. And you know what? He'll do it because he knows we're watching and say, well, that's what you deserve. Basically. That's what you deserve for all the moaning and shit and you've been doing for the last 5 years. Because that's how vindictive he is. Anyway, someone says you guys are funny. Panasonic is posh. Panasonic posh like that annoying Spice Girl. Yeah. If you want to be my lover, you gotta get my friend. Right, I'm gonna leave it there. Anyway, these two guys are gonna write another sentence, so I'm gonna end the stream before they do. Oh, someone's tapping away real fast there.
Okay, I've had my final word. Wait, no, just got one last thing here.
Okay, I'll let you still go on. But anyway, to everybody in the chat who joined us tonight, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And thank you guys for the super chats as well. Much appreciated as well. I've actually re-downloaded Black Ops 3. I have FIFA 22 and Fortnite there because I'm getting pissed off playing Fortnite right now. So I wanted another game. So maybe later on I'll probably stream some zombies. So if you want to see me kill some zombie SJWs, come and join me. I'm only messing, they're Nazis. So if you want to see me kill some Nazi zombies, come and join me. Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. I like to take me rage out on zombies. Obviously, Sony sucks. Arse. Panasonic sucks. Jesus Christ. Right, listen, I'm going to settle this debate once and for all. I'm the host of this show, and whatever I say rules.
Uh-oh.
What's uh-oh?
Uh-oh.
They're in trouble now.
Sony is the best. Noel has a Chromebook. He can't judge. It's not mine. It was gifted to me by my wife. So as I didn't buy it, go out and actually buy it physically, and didn't actually, so that's how I get out of that one. That's a loophole there. If I actually bought it myself, then you would actually have an argument. But it's a gift, so like you're not getting away with that one. That's not a gift. That's a purse. Well, it may be. I have had problems with it, but it's my purse. So there you go. And with that said, folks, we're going to say goodnight. Lee being the smart arse there now with his courses and all that. I'll course him backstage now after this. Don't you worry. I will give him a dressing down. Money messing. It's banter. It's banter. Justice for all there. There's never any justice for me. That's just the way it is. And Peter says, zombies forever. Yeah. And Robert Campbell Stonebank says, good night, all. Another great stream. Well, if you did enjoy the stream like Robert there, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you to all the new subscribers as well. Absolutely brilliant. We'll be back next week for the second or the next 3 episodes of the Sensorites. And then we move into season 2. Sorry. And we move into season 2. So join us for that. These 2 guys are just going to be found there. So I'm just going to end the stream there. Just remove the banner there. And I'll see you tomorrow. Come and join me. It's always fun when we do the watch-alongs and then the panel. And Daniel is harping in there now and says, Max sucks. Daniel, don't get involved, mate.
Chris, what Chris are you referring to?
What I did was bring up this Sony Panasonic beef again. So don't get involved, mate. Spare yourself. Right, good night, folks. We'll see you soon. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of our weekend.
Yeah, safe for tomorrow.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Oh no.
It's going to be absolutely fun.